All right. So the thing is, I'm hoping I have all the audio fixed this time. I'm not as confident, but I like to believe in me. I like to believe in me that I can actually solve my problems. No, okay, no.
Here's how I feel here. It's either good or we're gonna make it good. There you go.
All right, I'll take that.
That part.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux, and it's time once again for another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays for October 13th, 2022. Of course, this week I'm joined, like every other week. Boy, that just did not work right. I lost it, and then I kind of grabbed it.
Don't worry, you're good. We're here
by like a toe.
Yeah. We're good.
Kevin Kev, it's your boy Kev in the building.
In the building.
This week, I'm joined by... Is the tea ready or not? Is it piping hot? Is it ready? Is it ready to be consumed? It is ready to be consumed. The tea is ready. Mm-hmm. Senziak is in the building.
Hello, everyone.
So, gentlemen, how goes it? How has your week been? How was it going?
It started off loud, but it's winding down pretty quiet.
Nice. I mean, was it loud bad, loud good? What kind of loud are we looking at?
A lot of things to do. So it was just a busy beginning of the week, and then it tapered off at the middle. Like I caught up on everything and stuff, and now we're just here, chilling, vibing. Practicing for MCing next week.
MCing?
Ooh.
Nice. Are you the master of ceremonies, or are you rapping, or?
Well, those used to be the same thing, but very specifically, at my job is getting ready to have a virtual user conference next week, and I am co-hosting that event. So I get to talk to people and tell them what's happening and all of this stuff, and be the hype person for the next 2 or 3 days of that.
Ooh, fancy.
Love to see it.
Yes. So is that all that's going on? Nothing else?
I mean, a lot of things happened, but you specifically asked me about that. Everything else was, we did another sign language class. So this week we talked about food and beverages. So we got to learn things like how to say things like apples and candy and sandwiches, and how to tell people that you're thirsty and hungry, and why you sign things a specific way. So because I know that we're all adults who went to public school, we have learned when someone says they are hungry, they make a hand shape like this, and you only do that once. Just go from right here where your neck is down. You only do that one time. If you are extra hungry, you don't do that more than once, because that means you are horny, and that is going to send mixed signals. You do not want to say this at restaurants or to your waitress. There are people that you might want to say that to, but those are people that you should want to say that to. So there you go.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. But why is that against your chest when you want to convey that you're horny?
I'm just saying there's emotion there, and I'm going to let you do with that what you will.
Right. So, which is the question, why is that against your chest? You could just do that in the air.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things you could do there, but listen, we don't make the rules. Kind of like we don't ask why is a question. It just is. So there you go.
I mean, now I really want to know why is a question.
But there you go.
Major always asking more questions than you ever should ask on a podcast.
I mean, I'm just saying, when you introduce the thought, damn, I wasn't thinking about that, but now that's all I'm going to be consumed with.
Well, I mean, if you want to be real about it, for those of you who are in the audience who are all of mature age, this is an 18 plus comment. I could go for a bite really works in both cases. I didn't say that during class. because those were people I did not know, and it was not appropriate. But we're among friends here.
Yeah.
And then I finally got to have my first appointment with an esthetician.
How'd that go?
These are people who do like skincare things. So apparently I have I got them to do things. They're just like, so what do you currently use? And I'm just like breaking down like what I use, where I got it from, and everything else. They're just like, your skin looks pretty good. How old are you? And I told them how old I was, and they're just like, you have really good skin for your age. So like there was still like a lot of stuff to clean off because it was like the first one, and so it was like this hour-long process of them cleaning things and then using things to suction off all the stuff that they were cleaning and stuff. And it came with like just like a lot of oil and blackheads and things like that. But it was just like, this is really neat. And I came home with extra stuff and written instructions. So now I'm going to be out here extra moisturized because we like taking care of ourselves. And leave it to me to be the person in the middle of this where we start talking about men and taking care of themselves, and some of them waiting until like a really advanced age when they have to because their doctor makes them, rather than understanding that skincare is for everyone. For example, talking about the importance of things like, we're not talking about like extras, we're talking about things like properly brushing your teeth and making sure that you're moisturizing, use sunscreen and things like that. It was a lot of fun, and the person who I was working with was really nice. So we're going to see how that goes. It's not something that I'm going to be like, that's something that's like an every other month type of thing to do, like expense wise, but it was definitely worth going.
Go.
Like things felt noticeably different after I left, and I'm just like, this is nice. Went across the street, got myself a nice little sandwich and everything, hung out with friends later that afternoon. It was a good time. And now we're here because that day was like the skincare day was yesterday. So now we're here today.
So Ruin just put something in chat.
Yes. Don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Don't do it.
No, it's the thing is, I just bought PC Building Sim 2 and I rarely buy games at launch. Which then I was informed that he bought PC Building Simulator 2, which was the initial thing I guess he wanted to do. But it had the added bonus of me realizing, because he said he bought it at launch, was the fact that the game came out.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Consider that our first piece of news for the day.
Hey, surprise! PC Building Simulator 2 is now available. Kev! How's your week been?
Not bad. Lots of things to do. A lot of things I had to do and take care of. Mom wasn't feeling her best Sunday, so between like Sunday and Monday there was like some pretty tense days, but she's fine now. She's okay. She's had like arm and arthritis was like bothering her a little bit, so I was a little worried, but she's okay. And so yeah, mostly it was me having to be like, all right, let me go run errands during stream days, and then just playing like a bunch of wildflowers on top of that, and like trying to get through like more Guardians of the Galaxy, but then my game decided to inexplicably crash and take the drivers with it. So I just said, the heck with that. I'm gonna play this on the Series S, and I've been playing it on the Series S, and not particularly bad. It lacks the polish and lens flares of the 3080, but at least it's stable, so that works. It doesn't crash on me, so I have to take that trade off the best way I can. I have to find my victories. So I've been dabbling a little bit with that. Got finished with the demo videos from Steam Next Fest. Really awesome games that are coming out. Matter of fact, one game is coming out like next week, which is like Potionomics, which is like how it's like you also make potions, but you also fall in love. So it's one of those games. So it's one of those games. But yeah, I've been enjoying that, and just staying in my house, just staying in my house, buying stuff off Amazon. Bought me the Master Mount Elgato for my Key Light Air, and then being like, cool. Now I'm next month I'm gonna have to buy another one and a Key Light Air. So yeah, I will officially have, and then of course between another Master Mount, a Key Light Air, and a face cam, I will literally have more Elgato products than I thought I would ever have. So,
but still never more than me.
Yeah, never more than you though. Never more than you though. Even though I have the green screen. But yeah. So there it is. It's sitting up right there, clipped to my desk, which was surprisingly not as difficult, but it was more or less me not knowing where my right and left was, and the sliver of paper did not tell me exactly what was my right and my left, because it has that thing where it has that ratchet action where it's like you basically pull it down, pull it to the side, and then tighten, so that way, if you get into like tight corners where you can't like twist it, you can actually ratchet it where it needs to go. And that was I was like, okay, that's good. I would have liked to know what was left and right though. That didn't really help. It felt like that scene. It felt like the scene in Independence Day when like somebody put the paper upside down. He like goes and it slams. The ship slams in reverse, and I'm like, oops! Somebody put the directions upside down. So yeah. So it looks good, and bought some stuff. Bought a Power Rangers DVD box set. This is Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge. I really don't like how they do with the new seasons of Power Rangers, new series of Power Rangers now. They have like the 2 seasons now. They have like the whatever and then the super whatever. Be like Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel, and it's just like a couple more episodes, and I'm like, you could have just added that to get, never mind. Don't worry about it. So yeah, and then also fighting an urge to not buy Batman the Animated Series again. That's always. I
mean, isn't that on HBO Max though?
I mean, yeah, it's on HBO Max. That's what stopped me from buying it.
I'm about to say,
it's on HBO Max. But it's like, Blu-ray though.
I guess you could own it as opposed to what the fuck Warner Brothers is currently doing.
On some fuck shit.
Ooh.
On some big fuck shit. I'm like, oof. The way I'm just like, let me go ahead and watch Ballers and Beep and get up out of here.
R.I.P. Cartoon Network. Or these Cartoon Network Studios.
Yeah, Cartoon Network Studios. There's a lot of people that have been saying that Cartoon Network is dead. But Cartoon Network's not dead. It's just Cartoon Network Studios. Mm-hmm. Everything that's on Cartoon Network is being folded into like Warner Brothers Animation. But fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
hate to see it.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it. But yeah, that's in a nutshell, that has been my week. Been mentor, nursemaid, divorce mediator, and a whole bunch of other topics on top of topics. Giving people love and taking that love away, all that good stuff.
I don't know if taking love away is a good thing.
Oh, it's a good thing when it's me that's taking the love away. So I'm like, yep. No more love from you.
Oh, okay. But you reserving your love for somebody who deserves it, I guess.
Right.
Okay. So we do have 2 questions here, and I'm ignoring everything else that's in the chat. Aleoxen wants to know from Sin, is the sunscreen just every day or only sunny days? That's the second time I've heard sunscreen is one of the secrets.
Okay, so about sunscreen. It's recommended for sure if you are going outside, but also things like if you spend most of your day in front of a sunlit window. I have large windows over here, but I don't get a lot of direct sunlight until the end of the day. So that doesn't really apply to me. But if I were leaving my house to go to the store, definitely would. A lot of things that you have as moisturizers, some of them also contain those, and that's useful. Mine are separate because I prefer having a little bit more control over that sort of stuff. But yeah, sunscreen. Sunscreen. If you're going to be exposed to the sun at some point, please just put on a little bit of sunscreen. It goes a long way. You don't have to necessarily lather your whole body in it, but it definitely your neck and your face. And if you're like me, and you're bald, definitely the top of your head if you're not wearing a hat, and or wear a hat.
Thank you.
Oh, and also for fun, your sunscreen, whatever has the SPF in it, is the last thing you put on if you do extra things. Like if you're cleansing and moisturizing and all of that other stuff, the sunscreen goes on at the end. I asked that question too. Like, what order do you do things? Because it's important. So there you go. 2 free tips for today. More to come.
Ruin also asks, if you had to compare Elgato's hardware quality to Corsair, Razer, or Logitech, who would they be the closest to? Corsair. It would be the closest to Corsair because the joke is here, Corsair owns Elgato. Elgato is a division of Corsair. That all being said, I'd still say they're all the same, really. I mean, I would say Logitech G over just Logitech in general, because I mean, they're all centered towards gamers. I don't fuck with Razer because I do not like I just don't like things that are aggressively geared towards gamers. Granted, Logitech G is the same way,
like
but it
chairs?
doesn't. Huh?
You mean like chairs?
Kinda. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just something about Razer I just don't like a lot. I don't know. I would prefer. Yeah, I would prefer Logitech over anything else, but when it comes to mounting and rigging things, like Elgato has been my go-to brand. No, I do not want the Razer credit card, which I'm pretty sure is full of RGB somehow.
Yeah, I'm with Major on it. It's like more in tune with like Corsair. But because, like I say, the build quality is surprisingly good. Like, especially when I'm looking at the master mount, and then when I took my Keylight Air down, it's like surprisingly good quality, and I do like it.
It's really modular. Like their mounting stuff is really modular. Like everything is based off that same little. I can't remember like what the size of the hole is on the bottom of a camera. All of their mounts and devices use that same size hole. So everything works with everything, So yeah, like for my streaming gear, I would go with Elgato, but for like my computer peripherals, I still prefer Logitech G.
That part.
Like I don't buy Corsair peripherals. I think my power supply is the only thing that's Corsair. But everything like my mouse, keyboard, my headset, all of it's Logitech G, or like these are Astros, but they're still owned by Logitech.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. With the exception of like um the power supply, the graphics card, and the graphics card, motherboard, and CPU. Everything else is like Corsair fans, cooler, case, RAM are all Corsair, and I've seen some nice looking Corsair keyboards and mice, but it's like they're not priced accordingly enough for me to be like, you know what, I'll rock with that.
You know what?
And
I think
current
I
one was
do have a Corsair keyboard and storage now because I think I bought it before I switched over and started buying Logitech G stuff. And I did remember I do have at least one Razer thing in the house, and it's this thing for Android.
Mhm.
But there's no
Yeah,
other Razer things in here
I prefer like Logitech when it comes to like my mouse and keyboard
because they've
if
been
I can
doing it
get
for
it.
years, decades
I've been doing it
even.
for years. Yeah, and Logitech webcam. Webcam's always good, but I'm like the way I've been looking at that face cam, it's just been like that's actually not bad. Mhm. So mm, okay, I see it.
I'm trying to. Okay, I don't think it works like that.
But no, I can't get it like that.
Oh,
I would take it.
oh,
Yeah, yeah. You'd have to send it to me the old fashioned way,
throw it, just throw it to there. Like, oh shit, no, that didn't work either.
and then just like smash up against the wall.
I'm worried about the lens of the camera. Yo, Ali, thanks for that sub.
Oh, thanks for the sub.
Bridget just had a weird vibe with the marketing. I can't explain. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just really weird and
Yeah,
just
yeah. It's not.
I'm okay. I don't need that.
I, I have a Razer mouse because it was on sale. That's why I have a Razer mouse. It was on sale.
Get that Logitech G502, baby. Also, the MMO mouse has buttons that randomly do not work, so I can say with confidence, "Fuck Fraser, 100% failure rate." There you go. Can't argue with results. Yeet.
Yep.
Let's see. For me, well, I mean, merge and ruin. Right, there is something underneath the table that I do have. Y'all be stupid if y'all saw that thought it was a 4090 under here. Y'all fucking insane. I ain't got that fucking kind of money. What the hell's wrong with y'all? Just bought damn Steam Deck. But yeah, just been playing around more with this here, trying to maximize storage any way that I can, because over the weekend I did announce that my storage obsession has now extended to the Steam Deck, to where if I cannot find extreme micro SD card storage, things might happen to the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I seen that Amazon had a memory sale, and I was like, first off, I'm not gonna do Major like that, because either A, Major already knows, and B, if he doesn't, I don't want to enable him anymore than I've already had. So
Yeah, I have another
I'm gonna throw
512
it.
on. I have another 512 on the way. Should be here tomorrow.
Yep.
Which that burned me the fuck up. Also, during the weekend, I was like, because I was tweeting about the stores, like, what if there was a thing that somebody made that you can sit there and attach an external SSD to it, plug it into the Steam Deck, and then just have bigger storage that way, because it would be easier to acquire. To which a company called, what is it? Hold on. I got an email from them. It is, I thought I did, but I think I just archived all of those emails. So that's fun.
Why are you archiving emails though?
I clicked the wrong button. There it goes, Deckmate. Give me a second here. Let me switch back to vMix and so yeah, Deckmate. It is a company that makes mounting brackets for a Steam Deck. The wonderful thing about this company is if you have a 3D printer, they will just give you the files for free and allow you to print your own, or they sell it to you for a reasonable price. So yeah, I picked this up because the one thing I did like about this is the fact that it does have his little slots to hold micro SD cards that essentially would be on the back of the Steam Deck. I was like, that's it. That's what I wanted. That way I can keep the SD cards back here. I can switch them out if I need to, and not have to worry about trying to keep up with where my games are on SD cards around my house. Like I have the original 256 gig that I bought in this what the fuck you call this? I don't know. So dock or whatever for my MacBook, just so I don't lose it right now. But with this Essentials pack, not only does it have like the mounting bracket, but it also comes with these universal mount things to where you can sit there and attach it. You can attach it to a hard drive. Attach it to the back of the Steam Deck, and then plug the external hard drive right into the fucking Steam Deck. I'm like, let's go. Now, of course, the idea for this would be to say, I want to attach a external battery to it so I can get longer battery life. But when I tweeted about attaching an external hard drive, the company saw the tweet and replied with this website. And I'm like, thank you. This is exactly what I need for the dumb shit I'm about to do. So let's go. So I ordered this item. I mean, this bundle specifically. Let's see. They've got you can mount this thing to a fucking VESA mount. You can mount it to a wall. I don't know why you would do any of these things, but you can.
Why? I see base about. I'm like,
no, like here's
why?
the thing. Like if you could be extra, why not be extra?
I mean, you're right, but
bespoke solutions.
Damn it.
This is when bespoke solutions go a little bit too.
And so, like, yeah, it even comes with this kickstand too. So, yeah, mine comes with the kickstand as well, which was one thing I did want when I'm like trying to, if I've got it plugged up or I'm trying to install games and I have to let it just like lay on the ground or lay on the table or something like that.
I love the fact that despite the fact that the Steam Deck is not that old and hasn't been out there is still a cottage industry of like,
because Valve provided the CAD files. I think Valve provided the files to say, hey, if you want to make accessories for this thing, here are the files you will need to design the accessories around it.
And that's
Valve was not fucking around. This shit is open as a motherfucker.
Yep. Cause see, when I see like the fact that you can like literally put games onto like SD cards, right? And then like swap them in and out like cartridges, and then here are all your games. Just, boop, here are all your games. Here are all the games for this card and all the games for this card. I literally sat down and thought to myself, the Switch is really out here being fucking irrelevant now. Like, Like as far as like its own handheld device thingy.
And it's the thing too where it's formatted the SD cards, the store, all the storage period is formatted in a way to where a computer can open it and actually mess with the fucking files. The fact that
And not it just being like, oh, you're gonna have to format this whole thing. We don't speak Switch.
all right, so I just turned my Steam Deck on right now, right? I know it's really small. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yep, there it is.
I'm not used to having such minimal storage. I'm sorry. That's what I hear Major saying at this moment.
There. I just SSH'd into my fucking Steam Deck, baby. Let's go.
Oh, that's cool.
I think the majority of people who are at least in streaming space who are looking for like Steam Deck things are also like the amount of emulation that's about to happen.
What do you mean
It's
about to happen? It's already happened.
Is going
Like,
to be
I
glorious.
live,
They're
like-
going to expand the territories.
Again, what you're looking at here is a Linux. This is Linux. This is and just
I know that you're Linux. I know that.
no.
I'm aware.
I am saying the Steam Deck is running Linux. So
Yeah,
whatever.
It's like your Steam Deck has grown legs and it started taking off around your abode. I am concerned.
Why are you doing this to me?
You know something? I might as well make it fun. I might as well make this fun for me. So that's what's happening.
The way I'm screaming.
The way I'm so excited, and he's just gonna keep doing this.
I mean, yes, that's
something?
cool and
My
all,
bad.
but
That my bad. Allow me to behave myself. Please continue.
I'm all excited about a thing. He's ruining it. But yeah, like, I mean, any emulation that's been taking place on Linux already, like, would have just it easily ports over. It's an x86 architecture. This thing runs Linux like I could run it on my computer. The fact that like ruins it are joking, like talking about installing Windows, is a thing you can do if you want. It's not like you need a special version of Windows. You can just install Windows on a Steam Deck. I mean, and they like released drivers to get it to work. So,
Yeah.
and by they, I mean Valve. Valve released the drivers. They're like, why would you install Windows? But I mean, here you could do it anyway.
the way every day I look at like the Steam Deck and being like, this is more. Becomes more and more a more tantalizing thing. The only thing is that I physically cannot spend any more than what I've already planned on spending this year. But next year, this is a strong for next year. This is a strong next year thing. Summer next year, this. And it's like super strong because being able to literally just play all of the like the literal savings that I would save not buying Switch versions of games and being able to play the games I own would be best.
Like
Would be enough.
It's that thing of almost like when the Xbox Series X came out, when Game Pass, like while Game Pass is a thing, it was like, hey, I bought this console and boom, I already have games available. It was the same thing with the Steam Deck. Whereas like I bought the Steam Deck, boom, I have all these games already here. I don't have to buy things specifically for this piece of technology. Which is the support Valve is giving. This thing is beautiful. I heard the support they gave their last hardware was shit. Yeah, the Steam machines wasn't all that great, and it seemed like the Steam Link, they just like, here, have it. Steam controller, here, have it. Now, the Valve Index or in the HTC Vive. Granted, I think HTC was doing more support for Vive than Valve was. It wasn't. It wasn't that bad. Like it was the VR headset. They are the VR headsets to have. No one bought their other non-VR. Yeah. Like the Steam machines. Like that one was kind of difficult to do because they partnered with third-party folks. Like they just put the bare, I feel like they put the bare minimum into that version, like their Linux OS, which I think was based off of Debian at the time.
Right.
They put like the bare minimum, made sure they could at least somewhat work, but then relied on OEMs to try to push that stuff. And yeah, it was a mess.
And OEMs were like, we can kind of make our own. Like, we could make our own thinner machines and not really call them Steam Decks. We can just, and so it just kind of like fell apart.
But Ruin, I'm not sure what you meant by like how much, what was it? What's the max I can toss in there? If you're talking about an SD card, it's however big the SD card is. They sell up to 2 terabyte micro SD cards. Right now, like my Steam Deck is 64 gigabyte. You can get up to 512 gigabytes, and even then, those have faster storage than mine. But again, like playing indie games, it's fine. Like even loading Cyberpunk did not take as long. I mean, granted, my PC would be faster at it, but even loading loading Cyberpunk didn't take as long. Spider-Man didn't take as long. It's a thing of I don't recommend trying to play games while trying to install games. Like even though the Steam Deck will do what Steam does and will pause the download, there's still a lot of things happening in the background that cause the games themselves to load very, very slowly during that process. Ruin, I am trying. Also, because I did do that research too, the dream of expanding the storage of the Steam Deck can get crazier. Because again, Linux system, you can mount network storage, which but Tycho didn't think I could do. But I took some network storage, installed games on it, installed Steam games on network storage, and ran them on my PC. I mean, you could, but how would you do that on a Steam Deck? There's only one SD card slot. I imagine you could probably, if they make like a USB kind of peripheral to where you can slot in multiple SD cards, I imagine they can make a RAID controller that way. Anywho, that was my week in Steam Deck on the software side. On the hardware side, yes, Amazon did have their big sale this week. I'm not sure if it's still going on. Like I said, I have a 512 on the way, which was half the price that I paid for the 512 I currently have, and I am upset because I burned all of my Best Buy Reward Zone card points to spend to try to save on a $90 512 gigabyte card, when I could have waited a few days and could have gotten one for like $50. But it's fine. I need to use the points. I only spent $5 on the card at Best Buy, and now I have another 512 that I got for $50. So I spent $55 for a terabyte of storage. It's not bad. And yes, USB-C does solve all the things. Yeah, so most of the things. Oh yeah. In non-Steam Deck related news, and let me see if I can cue this up because it's behind me. In non-Steam Deck related news, look, I have a new couch.
Yay!
It's
New
great.
couch.
It's
All
great. I
right.
love it. So yeah, new Steam Deck and then a new couch to sit there and veg out on. It was great. It was lovely and just feels so good. It feels so good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just been fine. I'll start with this one. It's time to get into some news. And I just happened to open up Discord and saw that there was news in there. We should talk about it. Of course, we got some Twitter stuff. We've got some Facebook stuff. We've got some Apple stuff, Google stuff. We got all the stuff. It's double stuffed. So let's get into it. Starting with breaking news. I need a button. There's a dum 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 dum
Dun dun.
breaking news out of Reuters. Elon Musk under federal investigation tied to Twitter deal filing show. Elon Musk is under federal investigation related to his $44 billion takeover deal of Twitter, the social media company that said in a court filing made public on Thursday. Twitter said it requested for months that Musk attorneys produce their communications with federal authorities, but they had not done so, and asked a Delaware judge to order the attorneys to provide the documents.
So first you try to back out of it, then you're just like, I'm gonna buy it, but I'm not gonna give you the stuff that we need, and now you're under federal investigation. How long do you think the tail end of this is going to be? Because wasn't there deadline like around the 6th or like right around then, like within a week of that? Only for it to now be this?
Well, how much you want to bet he fucked up? Realized he fucked up? It was like, you know what? No. Cool. We cool. I'll buy.
But then went in with a whole bunch of people to help him, some of which backed out, and now we have to deal with this federal investigation.
I just want him to
They
go
be
away.
like, you messy boy. We out.
I just want him to go away.
He won't go away. It's
I
like
know.
foot fungus. He lingers.
How many companies? So I have a question, and then I have some shade. Question: How? This is like, buddy. How long? Just just do right. Like the whole thing is over here because you said you were going to do something, and then they were just like, you need to fill out paperwork, and you decided not to do it, and then they took you to court. And then you decided that you didn't want to argue with that until you did. And then when you did, it blew up in your face. And then now you're under federal investigation because you still won't do the things that they ask you to do in terms of just, hey, we have paperwork that we need you to do. Just do the paperwork.
Couldn't
Do the paperwork.
All right, so when you talk about paperwork, how far are you going back?
Like back to almost the beginning of this, because they were also like, hey, you need to fill out these forms, and you also have to let people do an investigation, and you have rules you have to follow because we're dealing with a publicly traded company and all this other stuff. And we have shareholders.
Okay, so when you say the beginning of what?
What do you mean? We're only talking about one particular
when you put the Amex card down, the beginning of that.
Okay,
when my man said, "Hey, yo, I got the card, like draw 4, bow, give me one Twitter, please."
Because, see, the reason why I asked is because I want y'all to remember, this all started when he was about to be brought onto the board.
No, I don't know why you're telling me this, because that's part of what we're referring to in this set.
See,
of
that's
events.
why I was asking. That's why I was asking, because I didn't. If you were saying that, I would not have said what I said.
Because he says when he put the Amex down, when he said, "I got the black card."
No, I'm talking about before this.
Twitter,
they were just
see, when Kev said the Amex, when I was
We're all in
asking.
the same timeline here, but if you need me to go back to and explicitly state, because goodness knows if we don't, we're going to be here for another 30 minutes. The moment at which on Twitter, Elon was like, hey, I'm going to join the board of Twitter. And Twitter was just like, cool. And then, they went, hey, there's if you're going to be on the board, that's cool, but we have rules we have to follow around here, and there's paperwork you need to fill out. And he was like, no, what if I just buy controlling shares of the company? Okay, but you still need to fill out your paperwork. So what's popping? Okay, well, I'm just gonna buy the whole company. Do it. You know something? On second thought, no. You ran your mouth. Now run them pockets. No. Okay, well, we're gonna take you to court. And court said, so you still need to run them their money. And then when he was just like, no, okay, well, you know what? You right. Never mind, because he got that ass beat. It was also. But there's the paperwork we asked you for, and you still haven't done it. We need you to show your work. So, run these people their papers. It's not that difficult. We are in this is October. We have to be in month 7 of this at this point. Just run the people their papers.
What if, like Trump, he does not have the money he says he does?
Here's the thing. We covered that last week because he got people to help him make this purchase for this one. And then hours later, companies was like, oh, Bank of America went, never mind. Because the amount of mess you're in makes too much of a liability for us to handle. You're on your own with that one, homie.
Because you keep running your mouth.
You keep running your mouth, but you also don't give people the simple things that they're asking you for.
You both, you know the whole phrase. Your mouth is writing checks you can't cash. This is what we're talking about.
Literally.
It's literally this.
Literally.
But I need you to understand what I'm talking about.
Checks he can't cash.
But understand when I'm talking about this, I'm talking the whole gamut from Twitter post. Hey, I'm besties with the board, and I'm thinking I'm gonna join that because we deserve a platform of free speech to bring Kanye on to be anti-Semitic. All of that. I did it. Sure did.
Oh, that was an article that was on here, but I removed it for time. But yes.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, I'm just going to vaguely dip my toe in there to say, this is what you were thinking about putting over here, and now you're under federal investigations. Mm-hmm. Also, I need y'all to understand that regardless of your tax bracket, as much as we cheer for eating the rich over here, I need y'all to understand something. Once you are disposable, they will put you in the trash. What part of that aren't y'all understanding? I'm trying to figure out who's hitting more of the fuck around and find out energy at this moment between Elon and Donald right now.
I mean the dumpster
because both of them are in the wood chipper.
We are firmly in the find out stage.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Donald would taste like KFC and McDonald's.
First of all, how the fuck dare you?
Beef jerky at best. Beef jerky at most.
You right.
It's Church's chicken for one. I will go ahead and walk up out the street today. You know that's Church's
chicken is too good, man. Mm-hmm. Apologize.
Damn.
Apologize to Church's chicken for that. Church's chicken didn't deserve that.
You know what?
I don't want to. I want it.
Kind of right.
There is part of me wants to continue that conversation, but at the same time, I was like, not really.
Yeah. Musk is in the find out stage.
Yeah,
because he fucked around, and now he's in the find out stage, and I'm happy for it because for the first time in probably a long time, he's gonna have to feel the cold, wet slap of accountability, and I love that for him. And I wish him the worst.
You mean like Alex Jones?
Honestly speaking, at the most, it's probably not even going to be that. They're just going to slap him on the hand and be like, "Money, please," for wasting our time. In addition to the fact that you have to be saddled with this company.
$2 billion, please.
I'll take that. If it's $2 billion and he goes away, I'll take that. Mm-hmm. Twitter blue for everybody. Edit buttons for everybody.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No ads for a
Now let's pay for
year.
it. No, that's still not gonna happen.
Okay, fine. Then you know what I have to do, Kev. You know what I have to do.
Hold on. I got ready. Get ready. Capitalism.
Still need that audio.
I'm working on it.
Is there a wait? Is there? What do you mean you need the audio? Have you not just like clipped it straight from the episodes?
No, I should do that. But see, what I want is that pristine MP3 that I can use.
I get the WAV file to you.
Aren't you like recording in like 32K or something?
But I'm also getting Kev's audio through the internet.
Yeah, that's my voice is not that good through the internet.
See, if he can give me the crisp local recording and send me the WAV file.
Yeah,
but I mean, you also have to send that through the internet. Why don't you just bring Kev to your house?
How do I?
I'll sleep on the couch.
Where's the? How do I just? Where is the button that just? What does this pause button do? Does this do what I think it does?
Where's the send you wallet button?
Am I though?
I need a button.
Audience, let me tell you what. Put a 1 in chat if I'm actually wilded at this moment, and give me a 2
Hold on.
if I'm not.
How do I create a poll?
/poll.
Oh, thank you. Now, I don't know if I spelled it right, but F, really? Excuse me. Also, that question makes no sense. Anywho, because he's not in chat while he's on stream. Mm-hmm. Anywho, yes, Elon is in what we would like to call the finding out stage after fucking up royally. Or fucking around royally.
And I love this for him. I wish him the worst.
In iPhone news, you know those new iPhone 14s with the crash detection? Turns out they've been calling EMS to a whole bunch of amusement parks lately because the crash detection is going off while users are riding roller coasters.
That's funny.
That's a fun time for everyone. That's nice. I don't know I honestly do not know what's worse now. So this is kind of a non-story. So you know what? No, I'm just gonna skip it. Anywho, there were I will say this. So there were some rumors that Lufthansa was banning AirTags from checked luggage because of the battery. To which I was like, yeah, fuck that. My AirTag will continue to be in my checked baggage. Because again,
Lufthansa was banning AirTags?
That's what the rumor was, and it was based off some European airline rules and something like that. But Europe and Lufthansa came back and said, no, that's not true. We are not banning them. And then the FAA today came out and said that we're not banning them either. Just to be clear, we're not banning AirTags. So
the speed at which they had to come, like, okay, and I'm about tired of the internet about, at the very least, like the speed at which they just go, let's just give you misinformation, and these companies are having to take time and effort to go, God, no, we're not doing that. Jesus, we're not doing that.
Right. I mean, I appreciate them for doing it, but it's like the fact that they have to do it. Be like, no, guys, you should not drink bleach. Please don't drink bleach.
And they sound so tired of it. So tired.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, you,
is there like
guys.
you know that there is a contingent of people who get up
Mhm.
every morning and they are miserable because they sit there and go, who's going to get on Twitter and see what bullshit they're talking about today? Someone has to that someone has that job. Someone has that job.
Yep.
They get up and they just go, they're out here saying nonsense, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It's like
All right.
every
Who's gonna check it? Who's gonna check it? Is it Mike? Mike, listen. You haven't. You've been skipping out all week. You gonna do it today? Mike, go read it.
yeah. Yep. It's that whole like Arizona tea is $1.29 in America, and I'm like, it's the Canadian price. Every 2 months I see that, and somebody shows up this one picture of this Arizona tea that has 129 on it. It says, "Oh look, it's expensive now," and I'm like, it's the Canadian price.
I saw a tweet about that just before going live.
Yeah.
I mean, just like I thought we were keeping it 99 cents or something. I forgot what the tweet said. I was like, oh, did it go? Oh, okay. I mean, I don't drink it, so I guess I don't care. But yeah, it's whatever.
But because it keeps coming up every like 2 and 3 months. It's like people have forgotten it. Then we're gonna throw it out there, and then people retweet it. Oh, and then my people, oh no, Arizona tea is 99 cents. I've never bought an Arizona tea in 3 and 8 months, and I don't even go to the grocery store, so I can't even go and verify that it is or do a simple Google search. But I'm gonna retweet this same thing, and I come up and say it's the Canadian price.
It's like-
Every time it's the Canadian
It's like
price.
it's like being on Facebook, and once a year, people are reposting that paragraph of "I don't consent a Facebook user." About motherfucker, y'all shut this fuck up with that shit. Y'all
Exactly.
keep
Let that shit
shit,
go.
y'all keep sharing the same
Canadian
shit
price.
every year like clockwork, man. Stop.
Just
Yeah.
just in case. Just in case, everybody should go over there and say, I do not specifically consent to. Have you read your end user license agreement? Have you read the thing at all? No?
They got your
Okay.
pictures already.
See, this is what
As soon
happens
as you
when
hit
you don't
upload,
tune, when you don't
there
tune
you
into
go.
Tech Talk Thursdays. This is what happens to you.
And then you look
Mhm.
like Boo Boo the fool.
That TOS, that end user agreement shenanigans. Yeah, they already have that. They already have it. They already have it.
Your Facebook post will over on the 26-page terms.
Period.
Sorry.
Hate to be the one to tell you. Really do.
Yeah. But it's me. It's pretty much me just screaming. It's the Canadian price. It's the Canadian price every time. Because it's like,
I'm pretty
why
sure that
is it
Kevin is like,
129 in the Canadian? Because our money is not as strong as their money. That's why the Canadian price.
no, like ours is actually stronger than theirs by about 30%.
Yeah, stronger.
I can never understand stronger or weaker. It's like, I don't know. Just
So
how much is the thing?
basically-
Okay, I will just pay that. Fine, whatever.
Mhm.
The easiest is one of those things that it becomes important if you ever have to go to those places to shop for things. So it's one of those, whatever this is, whenever I buy it, it's kind of like, this is $10. But when I look at my bank account to see how much they took out, it's $7 and not $10.
Yeah, that would just fuck with me.
Welcome to exchange rates. It's
I hate-
awful.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, the Canadian price.
In sad news, there's a gnat in my room. Again, or maybe the same gnat. No, it wouldn't be the same gnat because I feel like it would have grown into a full fly by now. Cyberattack delays patient care at major U.S. hospital chain.
Listen, this is the kind of stuff that I just sit there and go, y'all, there are a bunch of things that I am sure you want to do and be a troll about and whatever. That's fine if you're going to do all that. But don't do that to things like this. Like, Elon Musk has an account somewhere. Go and bother him.
Like, it was a thing when I had, shared about the Capital One hacker. I said, unless you were unless you were removing my debt, like, if you were removing my debt, I'll forgive you. But because you were stealing identities, like, no. Like, I had someone like, well, it's the more profitable one. I said, that's not the point I'm making here. I know which one's more profitable. I'm not stupid. I'm just saying, like, look, I'm more willing to forgive a hacker if they just tripped over a cable and said, oh no, all of the debt that everybody had is gone now.
All y'all hackers are out here doing things and y'all aren't doing not one thing useful.
Right. That's the whole thing. Like,
y'all dealing with the same nonsense we're dealing with out here. Do something useful.
Like, imagine how much money you would have if you actually took care of people as opposed to fucking around with them.
Be able to buy up people's cheap debt and cancel it.
Tycho, it's DedSec, DEDSEC, and yes. I am expecting them to be DedSec. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that sucks though.
I cared enough to correct it. I did. Because I want it to be true. I want there to be I want there to actually be a DedSec. Please. They are the heroes we need right now.
We are DedSec. We are watching. Yeah. I often think that we are definitely getting to a point where Watch Dogs are starting to get a little bit too real. Like, it's getting a little too close. Getting too a little close. We just don't got CTOS yet. But we're getting there.
I mean, have you not seen the stories of like certain police forces using using analytics to predict who are the worst offenders in I think it's a city in Florida?
Future crimes.
Yeah, like see, that's where I would initially go until it points out that it's pointing the finger at black and brown folks, to where it went from Minority Report to Watch Dogs 2.
Certainly did.
So yeah, CTOS is closer than you think. Yes, shocked / sarcasm.
Hashtag shot, not shocked, but not surprised.
The worst part about Watch Dogs was that you could spy on people and they would be regularly embarrassing themselves in private. Yep. I remember when Glenn Beck was a personality on Fox News, and one of his big things back when Watch Dogs 1 came out was the fact that, oh no, video games are teaching kids to be hackers. And it's like, you're watching a guy press a digital button on his phone to hack the planet. No, shut the fuck up.
That's not how hacking works.
Also, the fact that Glenn Beck is actually the most rational person, like one of the more rational people that you could talk to now on the right.
Something about broken clocks.
Yeah.
Good point.
Also, he can.
Yeah.
Although I have something, I'm going to keep those thoughts calm because we don't want to do violence on the show. However, my thoughts about this particular person are a little bit less than pleasant for obvious reasons.
I'm confused. What happened? I'm sorry, I was reading chat.
Speaking specifically of Glenn Beck, that was I was kind of like, I guess that's where we're at here.
Yeah. Like, he used to be up there, but he kind of calmed down after a while. Yeah. It's something about that channel specifically, but then again, we now have worse offenders out there. Tycho, look, now that I have vMix, I can actually just produce a show and just not even be on it. So, look, we could just have a Tech Talk Thursday where you and Sin just go back and forth. It'll be great. I could just leave and come back when I want to. Just make sure I turn the stream off. In more security news, Facebook security warning: scam apps stole login credentials. And now we have a list of apps. Meta has issued a Facebook security warning to around 1 million users that their login credentials may have been stolen by scam apps. While most of the apps were Android ones, that sucks. 47 of them were iOS apps found in Apple's App Store.
Oh, you mean the ones that they're supposed to be vetting and all this other stuff?
Right.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to make sure, because they were trying to make sure that people couldn't just walk up into their ecosystem any old way. So I would think they would try to keep the scammers out, but I don't know. I clearly don't live that life, so how would I know how that works?
So I'm going to point out that a lot of these apps that are listed, they were not targeting regular everyday users. These folks were targeting businesses. Sin, why does your animated emote look like you're choking somebody out?
It's a brick.
Yeah, I see that now when I hover my mouse over it. It looks like you're sitting trying to put somebody in a chokehold and they're just trying to shake out of it.
You know something? Probably. To be honest, probably.
But yeah, so a lot of these apps that were listed, at least from the iOS side, they're showing like it's Meta Optimizer, ads and pages, FB ads cost. So yeah, I'm assuming in this case, like they were sort of targeting a lot of businesses to get access to a lot of business accounts, a lot of Facebook business accounts, which may not be great because there are people, as we've discussed on previous episodes, that run their entire businesses off of Facebook. So, yeah, I'd say be careful out there. Make sure you download the official Meta Business Suite tool, but also, I guess if you're not closely looking at shit, you're not doing it or you don't care. Google starts rolling out passkey support for Android and Chrome. Yes, we are slowly getting to that point where we do not need the passwords. We can just use our phones. Unfortunately, this still requires people to have smartphones, and unless we make them cheaper, this is still going to be slow going for a lot of people. But, I mean, there's some still like $200 smartphones you can get, but still, it still ain't that easy. And also, I mean, I guess it still has to be simple. This also is vendor locked. Is it? I mean, it seems like it's just install Chrome on a phone. But then again, I also realize I'm talking to Tycho to where installing an app seems like way too much effort. From what I understand, it's supposed to be an open standard to where if you go to any website, it'll work with almost like OAuth 2.
I feel like the word standard is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Again, I still think it's a good. I still think it's a good idea. Sure, it may require one app or another. I still feel like, while that may be the case, it would be nice if. So I've not been able to try this out on anything. It would be nice if, like, on iOS, I open up the camera app, it scans the QR code, and it knows what to do with it. That way, it's not like I have to go find the app to do it. It's like, all right, I just open up the camera app, scan it, takes me wherever I need to do, authenticate, and then I'm done. Yeah, Ruin. I mean, you say that with the Kappa face, but I feel like that's the thing. There's no source code. We have no Git repository, no open Git repositories for it. Not to say that that's not to say that it's a bad thing, but honestly, I feel like that may be the thing I miss. The thing I'm missing and is overlooking is the fact that it's not an open standard so much as just like, hey, they're sharing this tech and you can use it, but we don't get to see what's happening with it. Tycho, we just need to go ahead and start DedSec. That's just what we need to do. Let's do it.
DedSec?
Yep. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
Okay, so you're gonna have to explain what that is.
Oh, the hacking organization in Watch Dogs.
Oh, okay.
The people that I want to do the hacking and get rid of my student loan debt and my credit card debt and my mortgage and all that stuff. Open source versions will eventually come. The issue is that this will eventually become either required. I would prefer, I mean, the thing is, I would prefer this to be a thing. Like, if there is a way to authenticate based off a device that is in my possession, as opposed to having to try to remember passwords. Or people will be coerced to use it when they either don't want to or concerned for legal reasons. I mean, it's a difficult thing, and it's sad that we're put in this position again because of hacking, to where we have to figure out a system in which to keep our data secure and be able to access it that doesn't rely on humans being idiots and not having good memory to remember every super secret password that they need to remember, and having to keep it in like password saves or, on sticky notes, or because they don't want to do any of that, they make simple passwords and use the same password for everything. Like unfortunately we have to create these solutions. It would be nice if there were open standards for a lot of this, but unfortunately that's not the case right now. Is this not based on the web authn thing that all the vendors agreed was the way forward? I believe so, because I believe Microsoft, Apple, and Google are all on board with this method here. Didn't the guy who created the internet come up with something for this exact situation, though? Didn't he also get into Web3 at one point? But yeah, I think I know what... Tycho, I vaguely remember that, though. I vaguely remember Tim Berners-Lee coming up with something, and I forgot what it was. I think this is it. Personal online data stores. Well, I'm gonna put this in chat. Tycho, you might want to verify that for me while we get on with the show. Web who never heard of it. Everyone's a Web3 phase they don't want to talk about. Not me. I'm still about that Web 2, baby.
A Web 3 phase? Oh, wait, what are we talking about here?
I could have sworn Sir Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the internet, had a Web 3 thing that he was doing at one point, but I don't remember. But yeah. In YouTube news, account handles are coming to all YouTube users very soon. And by very soon, I mean today. Because I got my email from YouTube. Yeah, I got my email from YouTube about my Marcus Summers account. I say, hey, would you like to set up a YouTube handle? I was like, sure, why not? Let's try Major Linux. Then they were like, no, you can't do Major Linux. That one's taken by somebody. I said, oh, okay. Cool. So then I shortened it to MAJ Linux. They said, yeah, we'll give you that one. And then I checked my Major Linux account, and they were like, no, you can't set one up yet. But, dog, that's my YouTube channel. So they're doing this to kind of help facilitate commenting, tagging people in comments, for shorts and all like that. Like, hey, if you want to be identified on YouTube, not as your Google name, but as an actual handle on the platform, you can create a handle and, you know, do all the cool things. Because again, this is YouTube moving closer to all the other things they're trying to copy, like TikTok and their shorts and Twitch and live streaming. Because that's what tech companies do nowadays. And yeah, some users will get to choose their handles before everyone else. I've been able to choose my handle today again. So I guess you can. Which I would like to see what that looks like. I would like to see what that looks like. Now, has anybody else gotten the email saying you can choose your YouTube handle yet? Or I imagine Kev said, let me see, but he was muted when he said it.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
I could read lips.
No, I don't see it.
I know when I posted this in the Discord, I don't think it was mixed. I think it was a dissenting opinion. Yeah, they switched to the yeah. So yeah, when you do change the name, you change your handle in YouTube. Your YouTube channel then becomes youtube.com/c/your handle, which, having changed my Marcus Summers account to MAJ Linux, I feel like there might be there may be confusion coming along, but again, I feel like you would have to explicitly be looking for MAJ Linux and not Major Linux in this case.
I want Mage or Linux as opposed to Major Linux, right? Because those are legally distinct.
Wow. How did we get here? In Apple news, and more Apple news, Apple ups education and healthcare benefits, but not for unionized employees.
That was the fuck around part.
Australia workers set to strike.
That is the find out part.
There are a growing number of Apple Store workers around the world pushing to unionize, and one store in Maryland has already made the jump. Now, a group of Apple retail workers in Australia has voted to strike next week as they battle with Apple to get the company to agree to a deal and endorse their unionization. In a similar vein, a new report from Bloomberg today says that Apple will withhold its latest employee perks from the unionized retail store in Maryland. Bloomberg reports today that Apple is launching a handful of new benefits for retail and corporate workers, but will withhold these new benefits from employees at the unionized store in Townsend, Maryland. As the report explains, the new benefits include improved outside education opportunities and healthcare improvements. Apple is prepaying some tuition for outside education. The company has long reimbursed employees for a portion of the education costs, but the iPhone maker will now pay the amount in advance. This will start at a small amount of colleges, though the list is expected to expand over time. A program with Coursera Incorporated beginning on January 1st that gives Apple employees a free membership. Coursera is an online course provider that normally charges $3.99 per year for its premium subscription. In certain states, including Connecticut, New York, Georgia, Washington, and New Jersey, employees will get access to a new healthcare plan that waives co-pays for some Apple-approved doctors within the United Health Group Incorporated network. The employees who work at the Townsend store in Maryland, however, won't receive these benefits. The reasoning for this decision, Bloomberg says, is that these employees need to negotiate benefits with Apple via the collective bargaining arrangement that comes with a union. All right, so it looks like we've had some things in chat that have come through. Is Major Linux a business account? Is that why you can't change it yet? I don't know. I just think that it was not on the list. I honestly don't know why I couldn't change it. But again, it would be at Major Linux, so there would be no reason for me to change it anyway. Actually, no, I would see a reason why I would want to change it, because I would like to change. Well, fuck no, because then that would change the vanity URL in YouTube, and that's the thing I don't want to do. So I don't know. It's weird. So this is just, I don't like this at all. Let's see, this is not something unique to Apple, however, as the report points out, excluding unionized workers from new benefits has also been an ongoing controversy for Starbucks locations that voted to unionize.
Isn't there some kind of legal thing that's coming up for Apple behind this nonsense?
Yes.
I'm just waiting.
And in Australia, as reported by the Brisbane Times, up to 150 Apple employees in Australia have agreed to strike next Tuesday. These employees are represented by the Retail and Fast Food Workers Union, RAFFWU, and this would mark the first nationally coordinated strike by retail workers in Australian history. RAFFWU National Secretary Josh Cullinan said that its members who make up around 150 of Apple's 4,000 Australian staff were striking to secure a better deal. The action includes an hour-long stoppage across Apple stores next Tuesday and over a dozen work-related bans. The stoppages will run in stores across the country, but are focused on 3 of Apple stores, which have the highest percentage of RAFFWU members. Other action includes bans on using store phones, handling deliveries, repairs, or installing screen protectors. Damn. That's right. Your phone's going to get all cracked because Apple don't know how to take care of their employees. The deal proposed by Apple to the Australian Union has been criticized by union representatives who say that it would result in a real wage cut for workers and could lead them to being rostered for 60 hours in a week without overtime. Apple disagrees with this interpretation, saying that no employee will be subject to a 60-hour week and that overtime will be paid to any employee who works more than 76 hours in 2 weeks. The company also says that part-time employees scheduled on short notice will also receive overtime pay. If Apple puts this offer to a final vote without the endorsement of the union, the members of the Australian Union have agreed to an additional 24-hour strike. And holiday season about to come out, and y'all just be releasing new iPhones and shit. Damn. thoughts, questions, concerns?
It's Tim Apple at this point.
Yep, Tim Apple. Tim Apple forever.
Yeah, for a
Like, I'm
company
just
that
like, not me just being out here just like, you know what? Good luck on that one.
Mm-hmm. Apple out here doing fuckery. As per usual.
Okay, so Tycho just posted in chat the Tim Berners-Lee thing. And see, I see decentralization in the name. And yeah, that's screaming Web3 up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Solid social linked data is a web decentralization project led by Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web, developed collaboratively at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The project aims to radically change the way web applications work today, resulting in true data ownership as well as, yup, this is screaming Web3. It's screaming Web3, but it doesn't look like Web3. So I feel a little bit better about it, but still. And here is... so yes, it was that pod thing. It was that pod thing I was talking about. Oh, I can own a pod? How do I get a pod? I want a pod. Can I have a pod? Let's see. Okay, so we got at least 2 US based pods. Yeah, I guess I'd have to look more into it to figure out like what's going on, but all right, yeah, cool. Yeah, owning the pod was the point. I just don't want one on AWS. So this one Web3 was supposed to be the semantic web, not decentralized crap. Semantic companies did nothing to stop the name squatting. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Let's see here. iOS VPN apps have another flaw. Shows new research excluding many Apple apps. Essentially saying, hey, if you have an iOS VPN, there's nothing stopping Apple from saying, you know what? Sure, we see your VPN, but we're going to have our data go the non-VPN route if you don't mind. So yeah, don't think all your shit's private. You got that iOS VPN. This ain't a good look for Apple, man. Like, why? You care about the damn privacy, but you won't let me send all of my shit encrypted through a fucking VPN. The fuck is wrong with you? Oh, this is the part where you hit the button? Okay. Psst. Hey.
Capitalism.
Netflix ad tier costs $6.99 a month and launches in November.
Child, they want you to pay $6.99 for ads.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what we are.
I feel.
Oh.
I feel that the answer here is respectfully, of course.
Absolutely not.
There we go. That'll do it. That'll do it. Matter of fact, disrespectfully. Absolutely not.
Did you try to emulate the voice?
I didn't have to. I just did the voice.
Yeah.
I just did my own.
Kevin said, "I got this." Professional voice actor right here. What you talking about?
That button going to get a workout today. That button, now that button exists, and again, thanks to Sin for initially typing it in chat and allowing me to copy it.
Hmm.
This is like hiding in the woods and being careful to cover your tracks, but then you watch YouTube videos all night on your smartphone. Yeah. Then of course that's going back to the VPN bit. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Basic with ads will give subscribers access to a large swath of Netflix's programming, not the platform's full catalog though. A small selection of television shows and movies will not be available to Basic with ad subscribers due to licensing restrictions that Netflix says it's currently working on. Each of Netflix's ads will run anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds and will be placed before and during programs. Additionally, Basic with ad subscribers will not be able to download content onto the devices, and video quality is capped at 720p HD. During a press conference about the new tier, Netflix described it as pro-consumer and detailed how its internal content tagging teams have been tasked with finding natural breakpoints in different shows and films to place commercials in. In the US, Netflix said it will partner with Nielsen to provide advertisers with ratings data that will be published via Nielsen One. Nielsen's digital ad ratings will play an important role in how Netflix measures its audience, and Netflix said that it will not be using its data to build user profiles that lead to targeted ads outside the platform. All of these new tools will be rolling out to advertisers over the course of 2023. Of course, Cycle in Chat says, the part that's killing me is that who the fuck decides how many ads you get? Well, I think it goes back to that tagging, this whole tagging system, where they find natural breakpoints to show an ad. Probably similar to how how somebody at TBS watches a movie and finds a natural breakpoint in a movie to give you the Velveeta cheese ad or something. Or, like Hulu will give you well, I don't know how Hulu does ads on movies. Because I think when I subscribed to ad-free Hulu, there weren't many movies on Hulu. So I don't even know how ads look on Hulu with movies. Like, I imagine it would be easier for TV shows, but yeah, for movies, that's kind of a good question. And also, like, for Netflix shows, like, if it isn't a comedy.
Be yourself on the street.
Okay. Like, on Netflix shows, because, like sitcoms have those natural breaks in them, but, like, like Stranger Things, do they have, like, natural places where you will put an ad break? Because I feel like that's like a HBO show where they make that thing to go the entire hour without interruption.
Child, if I wanted that, I would just watch normal network television. Look at all of the technological advances that we have made, only to just go back to what we had on ABC. I could keep that. The reason why I purchased streaming services
is to not have the ads.
Is to not have to deal with commercials.
If for some reason,
if I'm on the free tier or something, then sure, I expect you to go ahead and do that. That's fine. But like, if you were asking me for money, don't give me ads.
Right. Because see, here's the thing with me, right? Like I have been using my mom and me have been using mostly. We've cut the cord, so I've been using more of the paid streaming apps. She's been using more of the free stuff because a lot of that stuff has like like stuff like Pluto TV and et cetera, et cetera. That works out. So Pluto TV has ads at the natural ad breaks, but then for certain specific shows, they just said, "Oh, here's an ad break," and then just plop an ad there. But that's free, so you can just watch it whenever, and it's free. But the only takeaway is you can't like pause or rewind. Sometimes with on-demand stuff, it also has ads. But that stuff is free. So it just seems so weird to me to be like, especially with Hulu. When Hulu back in the day, Hulu was charging people for ads for
They
things,
still do.
and it had the ads.
They still do.
They still do. And so yeah, I was like, nah, I don't want that. So I just paid extra for the no ads because it makes sense to just pay the little extra and get no ads.
And see, now you
and
understand.
Be fine with it.
Now you understand my whole point, where I come from. Why I will do everything in my power to not be served ads.
Right. And I mean, that's fine. But that's fine if you're like, I don't want to pay for XYZ LMNOP and get ads. But why am I paying you money so that you can get access to money through ads? So you get both ad revenue and my money.
Got me coming
because I want to have Bridgerton access on the cheap. I might as well,
and you may not get it.
Just sign up for and you may not get it. So it'd be better for me to just say, all right, Bridgerton's out. I'm gonna subscribe for that month. Cancel me until like Stranger Things come out. I'll watch it then. I'll be like, this thing, that thing, this thing. That's fair and fine. And I'm good. I'm good. But outside of like me, I have to keep it because that's kind of like our thing. So that's how we watch our shows and movies and such. So that's fair. But it's just really wild to me that y'all charging for no ads when y'all could just be like, oh, here's an ad tier. Here's all the ads. You're paying for barely any access, and then you still get ads. No. So you can lose me with that.
And it would be nice if they released, hey, these are the shows you get and shows you don't get. Like, I'm gonna know that up front.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't let me just like knock it down and then be like, oh, right. Oh, you wanted to watch Bridgerton? Yeah, sorry, that's not included in the ad-free version. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
So it's like it's got to the point now where it's like, why are you even doing what you're doing? Why can't you just be like, all right, that's fine. I won't give Netflix. Until I can afford the Netflix that I want, or if I can pay for the Netflix, I just won't get it. Because that's really what it comes down to. It's like if I can't afford it, I'm not getting it. And we're starting to see that more and more going forward. Oh, I can't afford this. I'll do without. or be a Wellerman,
Yeah, I love how Tycho's like, I'm put on my Foss hat. So you didn't put on a Foss hat. You put on the captain hat.
Mm-hmm. You'd be like, there once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The wind harder bowed it down below, my bullet boys blow. Soon when the Wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum, one day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
I was expecting your shirt to also change colors while you were dancing around the room.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I was like. Back in my Wellerman phase, I was like, I didn't watch anything broadcast. I did not. Like,
I mean, look, I will put it like this. I would go find my ship from wherever I stashed it, and maybe for a little fee, so I can afford more storage.
Right.
Go
Now,
sail the seas.
Yeah.
And get this Plex server ready.
Now I bring the Wellerman out for I bring the Billy OT out. Billy of T. We bring that out when I'm looking for like the defunct, hard to find joints where I like, oh, that's not on Crunchyroll. That's not on like, Hulu or Netflix. It's like, oh, defunct anime that I had not seen, that's only been popping since the 90s. Bet I'm gonna pull the Billy OT and search for it. But outside of that, no. Outside of like legit stuff, nah.
Tycho, that is on my list of things to do, is switching from Plex to Jellyfin. I really need to do that. That is not even that. Like that isn't even that's not even a matter of monetary investment because I'm doing it on the hardware I already have.
Oh, I'm looking up Jellyfin now.
It's open source Plex.
Oh, see, this is what I need.
Yeah, it's open source Plex.
Oh, so this is what I need.
The thing that was stopping me from doing it initially was like there was no Apple TV app, but there's one in beta, and that's so I have it. Everything is installed. Everything is ready for me to use. I just need to install the fucking Jellyfin server and get everything plugged in, which probably would take me no time to do. Just gotta do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to figure this out because this don't look that bad. Android TV. This work for Fire Stick?
Yeah, like Tycho said, you might want to pay attention to that open source channel in Major's house because we talk about some things.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna keep it. Oh, I'm gonna invest in that. Hold on.
But while Kev gets lost in the open source life, time to move over to some games. Who's ready for some gaming news, guys? Let's do it. Steam has updated their iOS and Android app. Finally.
I
have been using the beta on Android for quite some time, and while I don't think I've really used the app like I was supposed to, it is great to be able to sign into Steam using a QR code.
Yeah, I'm about to do that.
It is the best. But it also says that you are able to remotely install games from the app, which would be nice. It's a thing of, I wonder if I can do that with the Steam Deck, if the Steam Deck was on. Because the one thing I do not like about the Steam Deck is the difficulty in which it is to install games on it when you are installing a lot of them at once. Like it feels like an issue that you would run into if you were to buy a new SD card, which actually would be more frequent than you think it would be. Or if you were like just reinstalling the whole thing over again and you were trying to put all your games back. But at that point, especially if you have the Steam Deck and you need to wipe it for some reason, I mean, there's no reason why you just can pop out the SD card, wipe the Steam Deck, and then put the SD card back in when everything is said and done, and you have your games again. Although I already remotely installed games from the app, maybe that. Yeah, I could have sworn that was a. I think you could, well, yeah, actually, I don't know, because I could have sworn you could have done that already too, but apparently not. Um, yeah, it's a thing where I very rarely use it too. This might make it a little bit more usable for me if I can remotely install things, but it's still that thing of I don't care enough to do that. If I'm buying things on Steam, I am buying them at the computer. I am installing things at the computer because I need them right then, not like while I'm out and about. I'm very rarely buying PC games from my couch. And the only time I like remotely install things to my Xbox or my PC through the Xbox app is like when Xbox sends me a notification saying, hey, this game is on Game Pass, you should download it. But then I guess if I get a notification from Steam that says, hey, this game that you have on your wish list went on sale, and then I bought it, then maybe I would want to install it remotely, I guess. So if you had a computer on the same network, you could push and install from another. That's, I think, what it was. I think that's what it was, the Steam Link thing. I think that's what it was, where I can install it remotely to another machine so I can stream it to the PC I am currently sitting at. Also, it lets you queue a download. Well, in that case, I wonder if I could do that with a Steam Deck then. Like if I could just queue up a whole bunch of downloads, and when I turn the Steam Deck back on, it just began those downloads. Because if that is what it would do, that's all I want. It's a nightmare to install all these damn games all at once. Because it seems like the Steam Deck has a limit to the amount of games you can press install on before it's like, you know what, bruh, take a second, take a breather, let me finish one game before you ask me to install another.
Are you sure? Well, are you sure you don't want them to just all install at the same time?
I do want them to install all at the same time. The other thing to consider here, Valve need to let us install Steam and have our account on more than like 3 PCs. I have my account on more than 3. I have my account on this PC, this Mac, this Steam Deck. I'm still going to consider a PC, but all right, you know what? Let's just toss the Steam Deck out. This PC, this Mac, and 2 other Macs in my office, not including the Linux laptop I have. That's 5 computers with my Steam account on it. They don't count the Macs. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they only count Windows PCs, in which I only have one of those. Wow, that actually sounds concerning. For some reason, that sounds concerning that I only have one Windows PC. Yeah, I didn't think there was an account limit. Yeah, like there's no... Yeah, multiple people are saying like there's no limit. So I'm not sure. I mean, unless multiple people are trying to play the same game you are. But I have at least 2 Linux laptops, and I had to remove the tower PC that broke early. Yeah, that's weird. I've not run into that issue. And like having my account on this PC that's here, on God knows how many computers I've had previously, all the computers that are here now, and then even going when I was in Colorado, logging into my Steam account in Colorado, I've not had any issues with Steam. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was a goof. Again, not to invalidate your experience, but yeah, like that's something that's not happened here. I don't know. That's weird. I would ask my other hosts, but I think I'm the only one who has an ungodly amount of computers in a room. Like, who needs 5 computers?
Was that your Steam Deck going off and being like, I finished downloading a thing?
No, that was my Apple Watch saying that I have completed my activity loop for the day, which is weird. I don't feel like I've done much. But that also could have just been me setting that activity threshold very, very low. PC Building Sim 2 is trash. It opened on the wrong monitor and I'm so... Ooh, I hate that. I hate that. I'd be salty too. Watch Dogs 2 does that a lot. That's the only game that opens on the wrong monitor and I have to fight it every time.
Yeah.
Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales hits PC on November 18th.
Yep.
And I am excited. Which means I need to finish.
Now with Spider-Cat.
I need to finish Spider-Man.
Yeah, you can knock that out real quick.
I could. I also have it on Steam. I can put it on the Steam Deck. Plays fairly decently on the Steam Deck. It did. Again, I need to try. Well, I would say I need to try it, but that might be a thing where I will wait for that 512 and install it on that other one to see if the playing while trying to stop a download on the Steam Deck was causing load times to be very long. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't just me going through this with Watch Dogs. Yeah, it's Watch Dogs was just bad for that. I hated that. Only happened one time. Okay, cool. You can pre-order the game on Steam and the Epic Game Store for $49.99. In doing so, unlock a 2-suit pack which includes a tracksuit and Into the Spider-Verse suit. Pre-orders are also unlock early access to the Gravity Well gadget and 3 skill points from the start of the game. Yeah, so remember when I said I was running out of reasons to buy PS5 points? Yeah, yes, you act when in the Discord you replied to that article post. I want them to release Bloodborne and Returnal for me still, but I think Returnal is coming to PC.
Yeah.
Like, I know I am several months late on watching my YouTube videos on my Plex server, so I'm still in July technically, according to my YouTube videos. And they were talking about like they found a Steam Deck controller profile for Returnal. So it's like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this was back in July. But yeah, I think it's coming, and like, again, what Digital Foundry calls Jensen's prophecy, I'm pretty sure Returnal was on that list.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bloodborne, I think, is the thing that a lot of people want to see because they want that shit at 60 FPS. Like that's just what everybody wants, is just to play Bloodborne at 60 FPS.
Yeah. Holding out hope for Rift Apart.
Yeah, there's that or Gran Turismo for me. Between Rift Apart or Gran Turismo, and then I will believe that every Sony game is coming to PC.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in Spider-Man, they have included PlayStation Network's login. So, yeah, they're making those moves. They did not buy Nixus for no reason.
Yep.
So Sony is out here playing catch up now. And again, like it's a thing where I wonder if the next generation PlayStation will be the good one again if they make a PS6.
I think they will. I think they will, but I think it'd be a bit, maybe a bit more on the affordable side. We'll see. But
So let's see
because
here. Oh, sorry.
no, I'm just saying. I feel like it might be more on the affordable side because more of the bleeding tech is like more would become more affordable to manufacture, meaning more unit sales, and then less like stocks just like out here.
I mean, these graphics prices keep going up the way they are. It may not be. So let's see a 4K 60 FPS RTX 3070 or AMD Radeon 6800 XT, Intel Core i5 11400 or Ryzen 5 3600 16 gigabytes of RAM, Windows 10 and 75 gigabytes of SSD. Of course, you want that ray tracing though. You want that ultimate ray tracing at 4K 60. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 or AMD Radeon RX 6950 XT, Intel Core i7 12700K or AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, 32 gigs of RAM.
Wow.
32 gigs of RAM.
Soul crushing numbers.
Windows 10 with 75 gigabyte SSD. So I'm wondering, I'm looking at this like, where is Steam Deck and all of this? Probably like in between minimum and recommended, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if it'll do 7260.
Yeah.
Of course, like I'm looking. It's now I'm like, it's a thing where before I was like, all right, what can my PC do? Now I was like, what can the Steam Deck do? I think them releasing Naughty Dog games was the confirmation for me that everything is open to coming. They're the top dog, not a pun. Does it actually use anywhere near 32 gigabytes? I mean, you got to put those assets somewhere. And I wonder if this came out after direct storage was was like out there. Would they need 32 gigabytes of RAM? But I think that they're like trying to put all of those fucking assets in memory so that way it can like things can just like quick. Nintendo settles labor dispute with former employee. The company, along with its recruitment and staffing partner Aston Carter, agreed to pay almost $25,000 in damages after an employee claimed they were fired for engaging in protected activities. Let's see here. Where was it? Yeah, there we go. According to a report in Polygon, the employee filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board back in April in which the two companies were accused of surveilling employees' union activities, firing an employee for engaging in protected activity like discussing wages, and firing an employee for joining or supporting labor organization. The employee, Mackenzie Clifton, also stated in an interview with Axios in September that they wanted an apology from Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser. No word yet if such an apology is forthcoming, but Nintendo did issue a response to the settlement. Quote, Nintendo was thankful that a resolution was reached in the NLRB matter so that we can continue to focus on ensuring that our working environment remains welcoming and supportive for all our employees and associates. That approach is fundamental to our company values. As part of the public settlement, all parties remain obligated not to disclose Nintendo's confidential business information and trade secrets, which are paramount to our development process and product offerings. But what's Bowser got to say?
Nothing if he knows what's good for him.
he should say, I'm sorry.
You know, I find that the best way to apologize for me in a business situation is to add an additional zero to the end of whatever amount of money you plan on paying me. Just tack on a zero. Just a zero.
So do you
Right
think
at the
that
end,
so
before the decimal point.
do you think that the original settlement was $2,591?
It's very possible. But I mean, could more have been provided? I don't see why not.
So it should have been $259,100.
Bravo.
We forgive you, Doug Bowser.
Do we?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
I was like, speak for yourself on that one.
And boy, this seems convenient news. Very convenient. PS5 shipments are up by 400% in the US. Coincidentally, in time for God of War Ragnarok.
Huh. Who would have thunk? Not me, of course, but who would have thunk?
Kratos summoned more PS5s and we got them.
Mm-hmm.
Shipments of PS5 consoles to the US in September had a 400% increase year over year, according to a financial analyst. David Gibson, senior analyst of MST Financial, shared a graph on Twitter showing the imports to the US per month from June 2021 onward, with a huge spike during last month. Gibson added he believes some of the stock will go towards the launch of God of War Ragnarok, which makes a lot of sense. Ragnarok is the next first-party title for PlayStation, and Sony will be undoubtedly eager to capitalize on its release to bolster sales of the PS5. Excuse me. If only they had done this sooner. I feel like Sony had the muscle, but just didn't want it to for some reason. Yeah, because it just didn't make financial sense at the time. It's not like they had shit that they could really push on the PlayStation. Like, what was a first-party PlayStation title that came out that everybody was dying to play between July 2021 and now?
Forbidden West. That was about it.
See, you say Miles Morales, but that also was during a huge bit of what I would still say like a legitimate crunch for people. So I don't think they could have done that at the launch of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
But that's why I said
launch.
between July 2021 and now. Miles Morales was November 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I say, launch game. Say it with me now. Launch games typically are hit or miss. Oftentimes, for every awesome launch, for every Xbox, for every like Halo, you generally get like a dark cloud. You know, basically just like, yeah, what is this again? I don't. What game is this again? I don't even know. And so, you know. So yeah, it's like a few. Yeah, it's only like a few first-party titles, like.
And like I'm
Miles,
I'm going through the list. Like Rift Apart,
Returnal.
Well, Rift Apart was in June, but
yeah,
I would possibly lump that in there. Returnal was April, but I still don't think that was that big, not compared to Ratchet and Clank. Gran Turismo, maybe. I don't think Last of Us was going to do it because there were just remakes or like remake. Well, maybe not remake, or this one does say remake, but
yeah, it was remake. Yeah, It's like
The
it
Legacy of
was
Thieves
you.
collection. So like, yeah, again, between July 2021 and now, Sony has shit. Sony
And
had
as much,
shit for first party.
yeah, and as much as like motherfuckers always like to say like Xbox don't got games, and it's like apparently Sony didn't have much either. Like, yeah, like as far as like Miles and like Horizon, and then a bunch of like, you know, you can and a bunch of like patches for PS4 games that you can play, and or or PS5 versions of games that we already had, lightly upscaled, and then of course remakes. Which, to be fair, Sony is the remaster king. Sony will remaster the absolute hell out of a game series
Because they believe in generations.
Just look. You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that we believe in generations. My ass, but you keep bringing back Ratchet and Clank.
Again, it's not like PS3 Ratchet and Clank plays on PS5. Just saying.
No, and certainly doesn't. It certainly does not.
So we believe in generations.
Because of it, except when we don't.
Well,
except when we don't. Except when it's like, oh crap, we need to make some money. That's why they're making PC versions, because it's like that's the only way they can move games. Because who the fuck got a PS5?
What if Sony's releasing games on PC so they can play on the Steam Deck because they are trying to start a new handheld?
I mean, that's the best way. That's the best way to make. That's the best way to support a handheld. That's the best way Sony can be able to support a handheld, is to not make one.
Well,
Make it for something. Because again, proven track record. If it doesn't do Nintendo numbers, it's a failure. But it sold a whole bunch, and we love it. Yeah, I said what I said.
Speaking of Nintendo, and I meant to point this out, I picked up my Switch for the first time a couple of days ago since having the Steam Deck. And it blew my mind how small that thing is compared to the Steam Deck. And I have not had that feeling since I bought my first Android phone, the HTC Evo 4G on Sprint. And having a 4-inch phone for the first time, I was like, man, this phone is massive. I went around school with it for about a week, because this was back when I was in college. Went around school for a week with it like I normally do with my new devices. Left my iPod Touch at home or in my apartment. And then after the week was over, I picked up the iPod. I was like, oh my God, this iPod is tiny. Why is it so small?
So small in my hands.
Metal Gear and Demon's Souls are like two of my top 5 games of all time. I've seen enough. Yeah, I think I have Ground Zeroes and MGS5 on my Steam Deck too. I just need to sit down and just. I think I want to take a vacation, just to sit on my new couch, put my TV on, and just play Steam Deck. That's really all I want. Mm-hmm. I want to do that this weekend, but unfortunately, like I have an Overwatch game this weekend, but even then, like I feel like after that, like it's like 2 hour tops. Just turn my PC back off, turn my TV back on, and just veg out with Steam Deck and just old YouTube videos. That's all I've been thinking about. This is really all I've been thinking about, just like sitting out and just play a fucking Steam Deck. Like I'm excited about PC gaming again.
This is where Linux goes, and what did I buy that Switch for?
What did I buy the Switch for? I've never used my Switch like that, though. Like, honestly, I don't think I've actually played my Switch like that. Wait, isn't that the Wii Shop music?
Animal Crossing.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's Switch Big Collector does. I take it with me on trips, and I will occasionally play it. But guess what? I have Wargroove on Steam.
Yep.
Apparently owned it. Apparently I owned it. I don't remember buying it, so I don't know where I got it from. But I have Wargroove on Steam, so I am restarting Wargroove on the Steam Deck.
Probably a humble bundle. See, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I am at that point where I love the Switch, but I find myself finding different things and entities for it. And I think the best thing it is now is like NSO stuff and like those like really awesome little Switch game experiences, Mario experiences,
and that's what it. And I think that's what it is.
I cannot take away from it.
If it's not first party Nintendo,
machine.
If it's first party Nintendo, that's what the Switch is for. Even though,
yep,
I may or may not have the version of the Switch that can be hacked. And therefore, I could just dump the ROMs to the games I own. Unfortunately, this means I would need to buy physical cartridges because, again, as much as sure I could sell the high Cs, I don't want to do that. It's like for games specifically, TV shows that are being fucking locked on streaming services, that's one thing. But like if it's a game, like it's a game on a cartridge and it's just okay, I can't afford it. Like, all right, cool, I'll just wait. I'd rather support those developers. So like I will buy it and then would probably dump it and put it on the Steam Deck. But even then, it's like at that point, I don't know if I have that much interest in taking it with me. I don't think I've ever played my Switch portably like that outside of my house. Then again, like the Steam Deck with its literal 2 hours of battery, I don't think I'm really going that fucking far either.
Yeah. I did when we went to like have the family car serviced, and you know, if you ever go to like the dealership,
I just want to say, something like that, maybe. And like, 'cause again, I've taken it with me when I've been flying lately, and like, if I have enough downtime, because I've been like, I thought you think when they say you have an hour and a half layover, you're gonna have an hour and a half. That's not true, especially if you're at a huge airport. Because most of that time is taxiing to a runway, waiting for motherfuckers to get off the fucking plane, and then trying to book it across a terminal or travel to other terminals. So that way, by the time you get to your gate, that hour and a half is now like 15 minutes.
Yeah. So I feel like that it is definitely the Switch is best for those little like Nintendo experiences. And the best thing that I like about it is the fact that, because really the portability nature of it, of me being able to take it off my dock in my room whenever I make content, and then just putting it on the dock in the living room, and then just being like, all right, I'm gonna play, and we're gonna sit. It's Sunday. I got a couple of minutes. I'm gonna play Animal Crossing, and my mom watching me play Animal Crossing, and so that's kind of like our like bonding exercise together. Like, you know, oh god, Kevin, it's a wasp, catch it, and I'm like, I got it. Ooh, he almost didn't catch that wasp that time, and I'm like,
so it's a with your bare hands.
No, with a net.
I was about to say
a net, of course.
Listen.
A net.
Listen, if it's anything like the rest of our articles indicate, I can assume absolutely nothing in terms of common sense when people provide instructions.
Right. So I'm like, so what I do is I always do like my little weekly wasp hunts where I like shake trees. Oh, was that a wasp? Catch it with a net, sell it at the crooks. We're good. But that's pretty much what we do on Sundays. And that's the bulk of what my Switch gets the most play now. It's like that and odd times when I'm like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play Mancala. And I play Mancala. And that's about it.
Yeah, mine is basically like Mario Kart or whatever Mario thing that my son is interested in at the moment. Like I still haven't even finished Dread. I think that was playing Metroid Dread was the last time I played my Switch in handheld mode. while still in the house. Well, no, I was playing Wargroove. I was playing Wargroove handheld, but again, now that I have it on the Steam Deck, the Switch does not matter anymore. And it's that thing too where, like, if I was using it to play indie titles, I have access to more of them on Steam, and they will be on sale more often on Steam
and more affordably. Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
he's talking about PC Sim too.
Oh yeah, like I say, the Steam Deck has become more appealing to me the more I think about it, because I have amassed a whole bunch of a huge game library already, and the Switch is almost like I'm really just playing you for like Mario Kart community nights, Splat 3 community nights in future, Pokemon if I decide to get that, which I've been looking at them graphics. I don't know, like the frames ain't framing like I want them to frame. So that 30 is really looking like 2021. Like
it's making me. Okay, this gnat is fucking annoying. It's making me wonder because I know that if you were to take the Switch games and put them on the Steam Deck, you can get that performance boost, from what I understand. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm wondering if I were to take Pokemon off of the Switch, put it on the Steam Deck, would it smooth that shit out?
Probably, yeah. Good chance. Like, because
no, Tycho, take it back. Tycho, take it back. Take it back. Delete it. Delete the comment. Don't do it.
What you say? Tackle, we cool, but I fight you.
Look, I saw it. Don't say that.
What's it? Like I say, that's the. But like literally, here's the thing. I like Nintendo in the vein of Nintendo does cool things, but I don't like Nintendo that much.
Just look at it, it's so pretty.
Yeah. One next year we'll look into it. Next year we'll look into it if the iPad don't win out. But
why have a mobile operating system? You can have a full desktop operating system in the palms of your hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can get a
Ruin,
dock.
You want the smoke too?
You can get a dock
as well, Ruin.
Like Kev, you could get a dock for this and turn it into a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Keyboard, mice. Oh, yeah. Like I tweeted yesterday. I got Game Pass to work only because I went into the desktop mode, tried to follow the instructions that Microsoft has to get it working, which I need to publish an episode of This Week in Game Pass. It's on YouTube. I have not made it public yet because I was not feeling good last night. So I'm late for this week's episode on that. But yeah, I go into a rant on why I feel like and we'll get we actually might get into it because I forget it's actually coming up. I have some ideas for Microsoft and Game Pass and the Steam Deck, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And it's coming up real soon. Former PSVR exclusive Iron Man VR flies on the Quest 2 in November.
Makes sense.
Because Meta bought the development studio, so now they just own that game. If you were looking for Meta's newest product, the Quest Pro. I mean, it's VR though. If we change the name back to Oculus, would that make you happy?
Barely. Here's the thing: we have standards over here.
Look. Okay.
I'm waiting for Major to go ahead and make a VR company because that might be more feasible at this point.
Well,
I'm just saying
The
that's
me-
right there. Like
the
that's
Meta
the kind of stuff that Major would do. I would be over here being like, Meta's awful, and Major would be like, just build a VR console, and I'd be like, you right, and it would probably have fairer pricing.
if only I knew electrical engineering. I mean, again, like the Meta Quest 2 is still the cheapest VR out there, or the cheapest reliable VR out there. I'm pretty sure there are cheaper options, but still, even with the $100 price hike they had earlier in the year, it's still the cheapest out of all of them. But yeah, the Meta Quest Pro ships October 25th for $1,500.
Okay, so where is it shipping though? Is that like worldwide shipping? Is that coming to Timbuktu? Are you climbing mountains and fighting the snow? What's happening here?
What do you mean?
$1,500. I also expect to be served a steak with the package.
No.
This needs to come with like a free like week of people delivering food so that I can enjoy my experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Did you notice, Major, that they have legs now?
Oh my god, just
Yep, they got legs now, and the first thing when I seen that post, like, oh, we have legs. They were kicking around and like bro was
What is
jumping. And the first, metaverse. They have legs.
Meta's metaverse. They now have legs because before they were just like floating torsos.
Yeah, floating torsos. But see, now they have legs. And the first thing that I mentioned is, we have legs now. And the first thing I mentioned was ZZ Top's legs. She's got legs.
Merge,
and she knows how to use them.
So Merch says someone is buying the Quest 2. A report was out that 1 in 3 apps made at least $1 million. I mean, I feel like that's an accurate report. Like the Quest 2, is the most affordable VR headset that does not require a high-end PC, does not require to be plugged into a console with breakout boxes or anything. It is just a contained VR experience.
Yes.
That was $400 or no $300 at the cheapest end at its launch.
Right.
There were people buying. I have a Quest 2 because it was like it was like I remember the day I was just sitting here. I was in the kitchen. I was looking at my office. I've always wanted to try VR. I have the money for it. And like there's a relatively cheap option for it. Why am I not buying it? She looked at me and said, how much is it? Was like $400. It was like, she looked at me and said, why don't you have that? So then I immediately left, drove to a Best Buy and picked up my Quest 2. But yeah, like it's a no-brainer. Like even with that $100 price hike, it's still one of the more affordable VR headsets that you can get. Again, that is self-contained. And the fact that
VR.
And the fact that you can plug it into the PC and it becomes a PC VR headset.
Yep.
Again, Ruin, I bought mine when it was still Oculus. I understand that Facebook owned Oculus at the time when I bought it, but it was a thing where
we do this.
It was cognitive dissonance where it's like, this says Oculus. It doesn't say Facebook. There's no Facebook. When I turn it on, sure, there were Facebook logins, but it still said Oculus, and that was all I needed.
It was Facebook adjacent.
Yeah.
Now it's Facebook. Yep. We are Facebook AF. And look at that Valve thing. The smoothest of like 1K. Get out of here with that.
Granted, here it is now. You can get the Valve Index headset for $500. But it's just the fucking headset. It comes with a game. It comes to the
Actually, can I ask
game.
a question? Are they going to start having Senate hearings in a metaverse?
Again, how do I remove sin from this call?
I just want to. I just want to know. I'm
The
asking.
Meta Senate.
Oh my god,
The Meta Senate.
I can't.
And it's like, and then there's like, John, don't call the crack. Go ahead and call the crackhead Kennedy from the great state of Louisiana.
That was dumb as shit. I hated that.
I mean, I always hated him, but I hated him more after that.
Yeah.
It was like,
Something. It's one
man,
of those
I'd
things,
rather
like,
call
I would be
crackhead, to be fair.
I would be angry at you if, like, this were grounded in any kind of understanding and how inept the police actually are in most cases that people call them. Like, it's
You're
one of
better off calling
those.
crackhead.
The next time you do that, most people already do. Like, it's homie, like, most people are just like, the people that you do not call are these people. The next time you need help, most of the time when we need help, now we don't call y'all because no one wants to die. So
Be like, I have chest pains. Why are you here? Like, literally, police, why are you here? I have chest pains. I called for an ambulance. Why are you here?
it's always funny when people say things like that, like, oh, you must not know that that's already happening, that's already what's going on. Like, y'all just, like, have no awareness of the world that you actually live in. Wow, imagine trying to run for political office and doing that. Like, just say less. You know something? Can we just, once again, so many people just have money and they can just be quiet and have money and they just choose not to do that at every available opportunity.
It's that part for me. It's
that.
My watch
your
chimed
Twitter
when he said
account and go just, like, delete your Twitter account and just be rich somewhere and leave me alone.
It's literally having, and I know we're going on a tangent. It's literally the point of people having money and having more money than they will ever need for generations of money. And literally feeling the need to open your mouth and speak on issues that don't affect you can literally be rich and central pay and not have to weigh in on any of it
at all. And then come over here also add, here's some personal things that you know that we're going to tell you about is that you don't need to know. Like, for example, what kind of, like, the amount of unseasoned food that we eat and how we don't clean ourselves properly. Like, I just don't want to know.
So now you've come over here with your unneeded, unwanted, unseasoned, unlotioned opinions, and now we're dragging you for filth. Now look, now you've literally had to delete the tweet, which which will never be deleted because Twitter never forgets, and they're gonna drag you again yearly. You could have literally just said, like Tiffany New York Pollard would say, you could have just sat there and ate your food. Eat your food. Because you literally got dragged. Now you're all like, now your PR publicist got to make out a statement when you could have literally minded your rich ass business.
Also, they're either not held accountable for things or not held accountable for things for damn near a decade. Like, I would like to point out a certain, and again, this is a tangent, so I'm going to keep this brief. A certain Alex Jones, who's just kind of like over here to pay people millions of dollars now. And this is kind of like, imagine.
Yep. And he's going to have to pay that money. He's going to have to pay that money. Or they're going to take his ass to jail.
He got all those supplements.
He cannot cut them checks if it's going to take a whole lot of supplements for that. My man got to sell a whole bunch of them testosterone booster pills.
They're buying them up in prison as we speak.
They're going to put some money on his books. He'll be all right.
A nautical fucking billion. So yeah, I mean, sure. Back to the headsets and whatever. We can sit here and go against the MetaQuest, the MetaQuest 2, right? But again, $500. It's
Like it's one of those
$500.
things. Like there's the affordability aspect, but you already know that if you say meta things, we have to say something on principle.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that.
Yeah. We are
But yeah, it's like,
we are legally bound
yeah,
to say, hey,
just remember. But again, $500 for a complete package, inside out tracking, self-contained unit controllers,
exactly.
versus for the same price of $500, you get a headset and a game, but really no way to play it. Then you step up $749, you get a controller. Again, this thing has no inside air tracking, uses base stations, there's little beacons to be able to pinpoint where you are. So then you need the whole VR kit, which then costs damn near $1,000. And that's Valve's option, where you can spend $500, or even, again, if you're looking for a PC headset and don't really care about the meta shit, like only to just turn the damn thing on, create an account, and don't do anything with it with meta, you spend $400, get a headset with controllers, plug that shit into a PC, and you have a Steam VR headset. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at $400 as opposed to $1,000. Somebody making babies with Alex Jones. Look, multiple women slept with Elon Musk. He's talking about children. And it's like, he's the motherfucker you look at and say, oh my God, I hope he does not procreate. He's already done it. So yeah, not Steam VR, MetaQuest Pro, $1,500. You can get it at the end of the month. Now, this is what really grinds my fucking gears. Bringing the Steam Deck back into the conversation. Because how the fuck does the MetaQuest get Game Pass or gets cloud gaming before the fucking Steam Deck? Natively. What is the reason?
You know, that does seem kind of unsensible.
Yeah. Because they could drop an app. They could drop an app.
Literally, Microsoft could just put a fucking wrapper on an Edge browser, put it on a flat pack, make it downloadable. Like, it doesn't even have to be within Steam. If that's the issue, make a fucking flat pack that would allow anybody on Linux to download the fucking client. I can play it on Fedora, Ubuntu, or even this fucking Arch Linux device. Allow me to make it a non-Steam game. It works natively out of the box, and it probably gives me the best streaming, better than fucking streaming it through a browser. Like, it makes no sense. No sense. Like, Microsoft is like the leading contributor to, I think they are the leading contributor to Linux at this point. But nobody on Xbox team could make a flat pack. I should write Phil Spencer, said, bro, what is going on? Uncle Phil. You talking about how great the xCloud experience is on Steam Deck. I'm going to tell you something. Now, granted, it may have been my mistake in choosing Forza, but I feel like that's a good way to test like really how good it is. And Forza was ass. Forza was fucking ass on the Steam Deck.
Tell us how you really feel.
It is the fucking worst. Let's see. So here's like, Like, they want you to do something, right? They actually created a support document on Microsoft's website to get Game Pass to work, but oh my God, the instructions you need to follow to get it to work. Like, imagine you are a normal person who just bought a Steam Deck and said, you know what? It would be nice to play my Game Pass games. Not everybody is me. Not everybody's Tycho. Not everybody is like just this enthusiast who goes into like the desktop mode of a mobile device to do weird fuck shit with it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm sitting thinking, like, I could probably get Discord installed. That way I can sit there and, you know, play on the Steam Deck and actually play multiplayer games and talk to people on Discord with this thing. All contained. But it takes some work. But for people who just want to play games on Game Pass that they were able to play on PC, and it's like, hey, I could play them on a browser or something like that. Who's jumping through these fucking hoops to do this? Oh my God. So Merch, that used to be the case, but even because I think that was back during the UWP days. But Microsoft has since backed off on that. And again, remember, Microsoft is putting their games on Steam. I can buy Forza Horizon 5 on Steam. I can buy Halo Infinite on Steam. So there's actually no reason why. I feel like there should be a reason why, like, I couldn't download like a Game Pass client on Steam. If I already have access to a subscription, I should just be able to download a client. Or again, if that's against Steam's policy, because again, that's like the reason why we do not have a Game Pass app on iOS and we have to use a browser there. There's no reason why they can't create a Flatpak app for me to install. Because I feel like that's a little bit easier than having to do all this bullshit with having to change launch options on a fucking 8-inch screen with a Bluetooth keyboard. Like, who has this shit fucking laying around? Like, that was difficult to do on the on-screen keyboard, and the only reason why I got it to work was because I actually had to use a Bluetooth keyboard to realize I literally fat fingered something on the on-screen keyboard that kept it from working initially. I believe they did it to get a Nintendo in the mobile market. That is their only competitor in the mobile space outside of Android games, which has been kind of non-entity for most of a decade. Prayer don't alter the deal vibes. Yeah, it's really weird. Again, it's a thing of there is a way around it, and it really does not seem like Steam fucking cares. Remember, and this is an article I don't have, Steam put up a video that literally had a Nintendo emulator in it for a bit. They had to redo the video to remove the emulator. That's how, like, I feel like having that emulator in that video in the first place is how little Steam actually fucking or Valve actually fucking cares. To where if Microsoft really put out a Flatpak, the fact that in Steam OS, there is literally a tab for non-Steam games. Why would that even exist? Valve knows what the fuck they're doing. There's like, dude, just do it. We don't give a fuck. You own the device. It's there. It's just, yeah, Microsoft just being lazy, and like I feel like it's a thing where I don't want to seem like a person like it shouldn't take that much work for them to develop it, but I really don't feel like it's that much to shit. You know what? Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should figure out how to write a flat pack. Put a fucking a wrapper around a browser and just see if I can upload that to my Steam Deck, get it to work, and say, all right, I did it in a day. What the fuck is Microsoft doing? But yeah, all that to say that Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to the MetaQuest too. You can play Xbox Game Pass games in your VR headset. You can do that before you can do it on the Steam Deck. I do not understand it. Does not make any sense. I hate every bit of this. Even though I do own an Oculus Quest 2. I could literally be doing this. Well, not now. I don't think it's out yet, but still. I don't want to sit there and lose myself in my VR headset to play my Game Pass games. I literally just want to play them on my Steam Deck. And I feel like if Xbox can do this, they can do the work and put that shit on the Steam Deck. They can expand their reach out into Linux. But yeah, fuck them. Also, they made an ARM version of their Xbox app for their Surface. So again, y'all can do all that shit, but y'all can't make a fucking flat pack? Okay. I see you. But then they made me feel good again. Xbox celebrates the disability... Xbox celebrates the disability communities with new accessibility updates. Microsoft Gaming Accessibility Testing Service MGATS players with disability focus offering. This month, a new offering called MGATS Players with Disability Focus in PWD launches for studios not quite ready for testing across 20 plus XAGs. This XAG, what is that? Xbox Accessibility Guidelines. This service focuses on providing game developers with feedback from players with disabilities around core scenarios, menu navigation, and settings in their games. Look at there. So they out here just making sure, look, can folks with disabilities play your games? We understand you may not have a team for it, but hey, if you want, you can submit it over here to us and we'll take a look at it for you. We got folks who can look at it for you and give you that feedback. The Xbox Accessibility Guidelines are a set of best practices that have been developed in partnership with industry experts and members of the gaming and disability community. Based off community feedback, this month we launched best practices around touch-based control interfaces when it comes to gaming on mobile devices. These new guidelines include details surrounding touch target sizing and placement recommendations, swipe sensitivity, and the importance of supporting mobile native input accessibility features. The Xbox Ambassador community is a group of players that celebrate the uniqueness of everyone and promote a safe gaming environment and, above all else, make gaming fun for everyone. And a large part of that is knowing what options are available for gaming. To support this, we announced the new free Xbox Ambassador Accessibility Explore Path and engaging new learning path meant to teach Xbox ambassadors all about accessibility. This includes trying out platform and game accessibility features, learning about industry leaders and players with disabilities, as well as discovering accessibility best practices. New missions will be added throughout each season, allowing explorers to level up their knowledge. Check out more details and join the Xbox Ambassador program today. And they've included an ability to find Xbox and PC accessibility features support on support.xbox.com. Through gaming, we are able to experience new worlds, gain new perspectives, and create new memories from play. For that to happen, games need to be accessible. In addition to accessibility pages on the Family Gaming database to make it even easier to find accessibility feature on games, We share a few games recently launched, coming soon, or featured in 2022 Xbox Accessibility Showcase. Got Stories of Blossom. Pentiment. They're bringing an easy to read font into the game. I guess you can change the types of. Oh, okay. So you can change the fonts based off of who is talking and stuff like that. Let's see. As Dusk Falls, share some accessibility UI. Grounded, bring some accessibility stuff in here, especially with the arachnophobia mode. Let's see. They're working with special effects. RNIB, Royal National Institute of the Blind. Showed off some events of things they were doing, highlighting accessibility like Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show. So, like, Xbox has actually kind of been leading that way, especially when it comes to their console and a lot of their system level stuff. Like, bringing in that accessibility, and it's nice to see that they've got those guidelines, and now they're enabling more developers to be able to make sure that their games are aligned with the XAG going forward. So good on them. Good on them. Microsoft and Sony spin to get games on Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. And the price, the amounts might surprise you. Per figures gleaned from the data, this is coming from Brazil's Administrative Council for Economic Defense. It was revealed that Xbox Game Pass generates $2.9 billion from consoles in 2021, and that's just from Xbox, not even the PC. Not even Ultimate. We know Microsoft's Chris Charla has admitted to paying developers and publishers hundreds of millions of dollars in Game Pass license fees since the subscription service first came to our consoles back in 2017, but we've never really had a specific figure to attach to Xbox Game Pass or even Microsoft's subscription service rival PS Plus. That's changed now, though. Over on Twitter, Kotaku reporter Ethan Gach posted a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission by Snail Games USA, who you may recognize as the parent company of Studio Wildcard, the developer behind Ark Survival Evolved. And it shows a fascinating insight into how much platform holders are paying to feature titles in their monthly lineups and services. Sony paid $3.5 million to make Ark Survival Evolved a March PS Plus game. Microsoft paid $2.5 million to keep it on Game Pass for the first half of this year, and $2.3 million to bring Ark 2 to the service when it launches. So do not say that these games are suffering because they're on these free services. They're making fucking bank. They get millions.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's like what I tweeted out the other day where it was like I think you could say like this about Sony and that about Sony, but the real winner in here is Ark. Like the real winner was Ark because it literally made $6 million by literally saying, "Hey, could you put our code on the platform?" That's all it did. You know, it didn't have to make any allowances for it. It just said, "Can we use your game? Here's money. Can we use your game on our service?" And that was all they had to do. Still selling out on other platforms, still selling on Steam, still selling on Epic, wherever they sell it at, it is what it is. They're still making bank.
Yeah.
And that is cold, hard cash that can go to development costs, to pay their employees.
Like that's guaranteed.
To support. Guaranteed.
That's guaranteed money.
Right. They ain't got to work. They ain't got to do no more than just put the code on our platform kind of thing. And that's it.
And it's a thing too. So one, like Ark Survival Evolved has been out for a minute. Like I think that was early access and then became you know, GA, but all of that still happened before Game Pass, or at least they were still early access before Game Pass and PS Plus. So they already had money. They were selling the game just fine. Then PlayStation Plus offered it for free for a month. Game Pass put it on there for the first half of first half of the year for subscribers. So it's like you didn't get like what, $5 million just guaranteed. Like, all right, here it is, just to have, like, for us to put it on this platform that way people don't have to pay for it. And at least when they go off, well, so they explain. So like with PlayStation, they offered more. They offered 2.5 because the fact that when Arc goes off of PlayStation Plus, people still have that game as long as they're still paying Sony the subscription. Whereas with Game Pass, if it's taken off of Game Pass, you don't have access to that game anymore. Which would then mean if you wanted more Arc, you didn't have to go pay for it. Which then again, kind of enables more of those sales after the fact. So not only did you get $2.3 million from Microsoft, you're now getting those $60 or however much Arc costs from those people who can't play Arc anymore because it's not on Game Pass. Or the people who don't subscribe to Game Pass and your buddy has Game Pass and is playing Arc and says, "Hey, you should play Arc with me." So then they buy Arc if they don't want to buy Game Pass. So again, yeah, there's a lot of people. It's like, man, like studios have to be losing money if they're sitting putting their games on Game Pass, or it must be a dead game. If it's like, no, or if it is dead, don't worry. Those developers got that money, and putting it on Game Pass will sit there and bring more people to it.
Right.
We had this conversation last week about developers.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a different conversation, but okay.
Different but related.
Yes.
I hate that I'm going to do this, but how so?
Here, what I'm going to posit on this Thursday is that we don't have to do that right now. But if you want to ask me that question later, you can ask me that question later.
Yes.
Yeah, I do not like vague statements, but okay. Probably applies to Avengers, but that's a fair. I think that would probably apply to Avengers in that case, yeah. Because like with that not being all that great, a dead game, and then you put it on Game Pass to put more eyes on it. So it's like, oh no, this game is actually good. Well,
right.
Guardians of the Galaxy was not a flop though.
It wasn't a flop, but it was what was deemed to be an quote unquote underperforming game.
That's according to some people in Japan who think NFTs are cool.
That's why I'm using the air quotes, okay? Because we knew because again, if it sold millions of copies, but it didn't sell the millions they wanted it to sell, it's under.
You're right, because I think all of Tomb Raider is on Game Pass too.
Right, because it's like we throw it out there. We want the game to literally be awesome and great and let it circulate on Game Pass and people can rock with it. So it's not a downvote. It's an upsell. It's an up point. It's a good point. I'm sorry, saying go ahead. I'm keep heading.
I was saying I was saying if Kevin throws in air quotes, that's sarcasm. That's always how that works.
Yeah, that's what it means. Especially aggressive
I need that to be
quotes.
recognized on the public thing, and like Kevin made sure the air quotes were seen. Like if
air quotes were air quoting.
If Kevin had lights to attach to his fingers for these air quotes, they would have been there. Like it couldn't have been like more sarcastic if he tried. Also, not people saying something is or isn't a flop who gets scammed on a regular. Not that. Mind your business. I would say mind the business that pays you, but it doesn't. So just mind your business.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I was.
it's the same thing with Epic
Find
exclusivity. You
some
mean you're going to
business.
pay me my first year up front? Okay, yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. Like, you get millions of dollars guaranteed at the launch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you best
And a
fucking
bigger
believe I'm putting that shit there.
You get cash up front and a bigger cut. Listen,
Look, this
who
is
wouldn't want that?
this is. Hold on, Kev. We ready, Kev? Put it out there
Capitalism.
for the win.
Yep, exactly.
That's the only time
It's
I will
exactly
celebrate
that.
capitalism. Because, like, you mean to tell me I get that guaranteed? I get
And a
paid,
bigger cut.
and people are going to look at it favorably because it's just there on a platform that I subscribe to, and I don't that they subscribe to, and don't necessarily have to pay more for it. What?
Also, we need to talk about just the simple concept of a setup. Sometimes you just give people things, get them interested in stuff, and then add other things to it that you might want people to pay for later. Like, oh, I don't
Right.
know,
Drugs?
ability to edit a tweet.
Or drugs?
Yep.
The first one's free.
It's like how
Major
Epic.
these days, I don't know. Like you better be making friends.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, the whole myth of like, oh, the first hit's free. Drug dealers don't do that shit.
No.
That's myth. Drug dealers don't do none of that shit. Okay. First free hit of drugs when
Excuse
you could
me?
have just bought the drugs.
Excuse me? What? You think this Baskin Robbins
that's
ain't gonna
what-
free samples here?
Yeah, that's basically like rich friend that you smoke a bowl with. That's like, come on, man, smoke this bowl with me. That's
That's the first hit is free.
how it has. That's the first hit is free. It's never from the drug dealers. That is. It's giving war on drugs. It's giving dare
Well-
presentation. It's giving
Rainbow
like
fentanyl?
we bought drugs outside of the White House. That kind of shenanigans.
Rainbow fentanyl.
Yeah, rainbow fentanyl.
bad.
It's giving like none of this exists. It's giving check your kids' candy every Halloween because you never know what might in it. And then we haven't had incidents like that since the 70s, and that was an actual crime. That one time, and now all of a sudden hospitals are like X-raying people's candy, and I'm like, what is even happening now?
I asked for a free sample, got shot in the foot. I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. You asked for a free sample, but you got a sample of a bullet.
Even Blizzard doesn't believe that.
Yep.
Blizzard has fixed an Overwatch 2 chat bug that caused players to make unexpected purchases.
Baby, I just need y'all to just take a few months off, think about yourself, get your life right, and come back fresh. Like, just come back fresh, because
Come back
y'all
after
not the
you've had a
juice no
moment to
more.
reconsider your actions.
Because I mean, that's a bad bug. Like most bugs are like, oh, like they're nettlesome. You know what I'm saying? This is a flaw. This is a glitch. This is a bad deal. This is a vulnerability. I'm glad.
Did you really say this?
Yeah.
You said this is a glitch.
Yeah.
So this isn't even real.
And I feel bad for the people who this affected, but I don't because they have freely played an Overwatch game. And so it's like, yes, I feel bad, but in my heart of hearts, I don't, because this is Activision Blizzard. Because I've read this whole thing and I'm like, yep, and I've read this thing and I've heard and they're like, yeah, no, we're not giving the money back.
We had like a word, right? We had a
Yeah.
word for like kind of talking through moralizing, like playing these games or whatever, and we're more like,
Yes.
hey, you should watch what these people are doing with unions and to their workers and base your decisions on that, whether like rather than like having clout for taking a stand on playing a video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also, The way that they're treating their workers are terrible. Like, we shouldn't be here. Why are we here?
Mm-hmm. It's like they treat the workers like crap, and they also treat their customers like crap with these glitches. So it's like almost like on brand, though.
But that being said, I'm not coming for as inclined as I am to
I would never come for the fan base.
I am not going to come for the people here, but dear people who play Overwatch, if this isn't your cue to walk up to Activision Blizzard and like shake them by their shoulders and be like, run these pockets or give me a proper explanation. Like,
right. Be like, I love you. Be like, I love your product. I love your product. I love your games. But y'all some assholes. And I think if we can like acknowledge that fact, and by y'all, I mean your management and your bosses. That's who we're talking about. We're not talking about developers, and we're not talking about individual developers, QA, artists.
Don't get caught out here like Apple got people running up into their offices and being like, yo, what's up? Don't do that. Don't do that, Blizzard.
Don't do that. Mm-hmm. Especially when some of these big releases start dropping.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Yep. Oh, look, a Call of Duty's coming out. Now's the best time to be like, now's the best time to walk out. What they gonna do? Fire us and then
wasn't that our plan for last week?
Open up an indie studio.
Damn, wasn't that the plan for last week?
They should
have done that.
Yeah, we were totally planning that last week.
Yep.
And that was just a taste of what was going on with Overwatch. They've dropped the SMS support as well, the SMS Protect stuff for a good chunk of people. I don't know if that's fully gone. I've been hearing conflicting reports. Like people are saying that it's gone for most people, but it's still in place for new users. It's still kind of broken for people with prepaid numbers. And then Call of Duty is coming up and it's also using SMS Protect. I'm hearing that console players are still having issues. I'm hearing that it's gone completely. So it's a thing. Unfortunately, years ago, I gave ABK my phone number, so I do not have that issue, but I do understand the issues that people are having to go through with this SMS Protect stuff, because again, Twitch pulled similar bullshit just to chat with people because they wanted to feel safe. If you're playing any 2K game, we reported earlier that they had a data breach along with a host of other companies. But 2K has now confirmed that personal data was obtained in a recent data breach. They said there's no indication of financial data or financial information being compromised, but you know what this means. Change your passwords. If you have not done so already, two-factor your shit. Get those credit reports running. Because you never know. The unauthorized third-party access and copied some personal data that was recorded about you when you contacted us for support, including your email address, help desk ID number, gamer tag, and console details. There is no indication that any of your financial information or passwords held on our systems were compromised. Unless you're logging into the help desk system, I don't know why there would be passwords anywhere, but here we are. It continues. However, out of an abundance of caution, we encourage all of our players to secure their accounts by resetting passwords, enabling multi-factor authentication if they have not already done so. Again, I feel like at this point, you know how early we were talking about who is that person who has to wake up in the morning to check social media to see what dumb, obvious statement they have to make on Twitter that day? This would be my job as saying, hey, humans are idiots. We make mistakes. Shit got hacked. We acknowledge that. But why do I have to tell you to, when we report it every time, to change your fucking password and enable two-factor authentication? This should be a no-brainer. Please do this. Stop. Just nah. But yeah, Ruin, you're right. We should stop requiring accounts for every fucking thing. Again, this is where, that passwordless method would come in handy. But I guess for Tycho, it has to be open source. Or we can use auth too. I mean, if I can help it, I am signing in with like Google, Twitter, or whatever, instead of creating a specific account for a service, if I can help it. Like anything that I build that requires authentication now has like social logins like Google, Facebook, Twitter, all like that. That way I do not have to be personally responsible for securing passwords. Ha. Yeah, you ain't say shit. Were you not saying that wasn't open enough? That the password, like, we can go back. I'll go run that tape again. Were you saying like that Google, the Google the passwordless shit? That's right. Look, Sin's kitty knows. The cat knows what you said, Tycho. Speaking of Square Enix and vulnerabilities and things to be on the lookout for, Square Enix warns of Final Fantasy XIV hack attempt, and again advises you to reset your passwords. A post on the Lodestone blog advises on precautions for guarding against unauthorized account access, including resetting your Square Enix password. Quote, we are currently experiencing an attack by a third party that is attempting to gain access to the Square Enix account management system by using a combination of email addresses and passwords that appear to have been obtained from other online services of other companies. It advises users to use different email addresses and password combinations for different services and ensure passwords don't contain easily discernible patterns. I think when you sign up for an ISP or when you get a mobile phone, you need to take an internet literacy course. At least the account holder, whoever's setting up the account. And you have to be within a certain age. If you're an old person, you need to get somebody who is within the age to kind of help you go through that process. Take that internet literacy course and take the test before you can get on the internet. I still don't believe it. How is Battlefield 2042 worse than iOS 16 and iPhone 14? Come on. What are y'all doing? Who's voting these things? That sounds great, but then we need to circle back to Sandus's idea regarding requiring accounts. Apple can recover, EA can't. Oh, you need a license. Yes, that's what I want. We need licenses to browse the internet. That's all I want. That's all I want. This is when I run for Senate. This is going to be my platform. A license to access the internet. Who's with me? Who's with me? No, no, no. Okay. That unironically sounds like data collection. Fuck, you're right. It does. It does. Have I seen 2042? Again, I still feel like the issues that are coming out of iOS 16 are great. They are worse than anything 2042 had, but then again, I follow iOS more than I follow Battlefield in this case, so. CD Projekt Red is doing something decent for once and has joined the likes of Bungie. What is it? Bungie, IO I think it's IO Interactive, or yeah, it has to be IO Interactive because Eidos doesn't own Hitman anymore. Bungie, IO, and I think Ubisoft, and assisting players who were getting their Cyberpunk 2077 saves off of Stadia. Well, you won't need your VPN if you have to log in with your internet ID. Yeah, so CD Projekt Red is providing Stadia players with instructions on how to get their Cyberpunk 2077 saves off of Stadia. However, this requires a Google Takeout request to get it. No, I do not want to sign up for patch notes, Polygon. CD Projekt Red's method hinges on Google Takeout, a program that allows you Google users to download archived versions of their data. Well, at least you don't have to download everything. You can just like only select Stadia and just download that part. So you can also use this method to move Google Stadia save data for Cyberpunk 2077 to consoles too by using a GOG account. If you've turned on cross-platform saves in the game settings and are logged in via the Red launcher, load your Stadia save on PC, then save again. This should automatically sync your data with the cloud, at which point you'll be able to continue playing on Xbox or PlayStation. It's neat that all of these companies are giving these players options for getting their time back, but we got to acknowledge that this isn't Google doing this. Yeah, this ain't a great this is not a great look for Google here. It's not. And it sucks so much. But again, we sit here and we wait with bated breath as we...
You know, I feel like we forget the very long history of Google. Okay. I need to say two things here. This is like a combination thing. Thing number one. I blame the tech industry and our movement into the cloud and focus on startup culture for the whole thing around move fast and break things. And deciding that, hearing that from someone who had a far more established company, deciding to apply that to people who were still making minimum viable product. But two, I feel like, when we see this about Stadia, we're just like, oh, this is terrible. We forget that Google has like a long, and I mean a long history of just making stuff and then just sitting there on it for like a year or so and then just going, well, that was fun, and then never doing it again.
I don't think nobody forgot. I don't think nobody forgot that. Like it's like,
I mean, the thing is,
every day
you say that, but you say that, but then you see reactions to things like news like this about Stadia, and you're just like, y'all, like this isn't the first time. It won't be the last either. Like none of this is new.
I think like, so I don't think the reactions to this are because, oh no, service is gone. I think it's reactions, oh wait, this is new and we need to figure something out. It's a thing of, man, we really didn't think about the saves to this. We should have thought about that. Or, I don't know, hear me out. Maybe there should have been some cloud-based solution to save games instead of saving it locally in a place. Like, I don't think that people forgot about how Google treats their products, because it's literally every week since Google Stadia launched that people were saying Google Stadia was going to fail, or they're surprised that Google Stadia is still a thing. The fact that I actually found somebody who was highlighting Google Stadia the way I highlight Game Pass. I was like, wait, why? Why are you doing that? Are you sure you want to sit there and be on this flimsy ass house of cards? And then 2 weeks later it folds, and then he's now on Luna as the cloud platform. It's like, boy, how quickly we changed on that one, huh?
I mean, I'm just saying, because like you're just like, I don't think anybody forgot this, but then I'm like, but yet, here we are in this furnitureless living room. Like, why are we here? CD Projekt Red, y'all should have known better.
Why would CD Projekt Red need to know better? Like, what? I don't understand how any part of this is CDPR's fault.
How do I explain this? I feel like if everybody knew that a business was going to fail, the last thing that they would want to do is go, but we're going to put the game over there and just have the saves and not have like a backup plan for what happens if this company folds.
I mean, I feel like they did, though. Like,
how is that going?
I mean, I imagine if I played Cyberpunk on Stadia, I now have a way to get my save data off. And they provide ways to be able to bring that to a console. I mean,
I'm adjusting my desk height at the moment, but I'm also like, okay, but why did we put things here in the first place? But that's not a question we have to answer today. It is just a question that I have.
I mean, but I want to answer it, though, because I feel like it's an important question to answer. It's a thing of, it is, because it's a thing of, sure, it's Google. It is a new technology, but it's a thing of, if you do not try it and then it fails, who do you have to blame for that? It's like, for me, when I see like NFC payments, if nobody adopted NFC payments, then it would go away, and then we'd be looking like Boo Boo the Fool, especially when COVID came around, instead of passing around cash all day. It's that catch-22 that we've always dealt with new technologies, where it's like, do we build the overlying technology? And it's like, what is it, Catcher in the Rye? Like, do we build it and they come, or do they come and now that they're here, we have to build it? So with Stadia, they built an infrastructure using GCP to say, all right, we will try to do this cloud streaming thing. Luna with AWS, NVIDIA with whatever NVIDIA's got, Xbox and Azure, or maybe not Azure, but their custom Xboxes sitting in server racks.
Fair enough.
Where it's like, they built these infrastructures. All right, we want to make it easier for people to play games without needing to buy expensive hardware. It's just that Google was the most volatile of them, and I think it would have made sense for third-party developers, third-party publishers to try to put their game everywhere. It's just that this one folded. Now we need to figure out a way to get that data off.
Also, Kevin, you may be asked for a musical cue momentarily.
Oh. But yes, also because
Capitalism.
I'm sorry, I'm
We're gonna be
reading a whole bunch of chat here.
okay. Well,
Why won't this let me scroll? Okay, now it's scrolling.
oop, did I hit the full screen? I did do that. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna call it audible because
Oh boy.
the spice in this streaming section we're not gonna be able to get into. We'll be here until 2.
Yeah. It's mostly we'll just
So
have
you
to
just
like
skip it
hit
altogether, or
What I'm going to say is the
because that's
first
literally the
one-
next
Lightning round.
tab. So
Yep, like
Lightning round.
the very first one.
oh
Probably
shit, I just
not
realized what time it was
70-30.
too. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to
Lightning
say
round.
that the first one, probably not that one. I will say the second one for the 70-30 split is pretty brief because we've kind of touched on that one already.
Yeah.
So I can keep my commentary on that to like a minute or less.
And yeah, nothing to say on that. So yeah, we're gonna do lightning round. So all right, TwitchCon was last weekend. There was a pit, a
There
foam
were
pit.
a there was a raft of shenanigans, but
But
apparently
yeah, specifically
Shenanigans.
with this one, there was a foam pit. Like, I think they were doing like some like gladiator battle thing, and the pit was not deep enough. The foam was
Nope.
not thick enough, so people who were being knocked into or jumped into the pit were seriously
got hurt.
injuring themselves. One streamer did break her back in 2 places, required surgery, broken ankles, broken things, and the folks working the booth were like, she's good. She could walk it off, and just kind of brushed it off as like, there's nothing wrong here. This was on day 1. On day 2, they reopened it, given the injuries, but then quickly closed it not too long after that. Unfortunately, this was a booth involving Intel and Lenovo, and I am disappointed in both companies, as I am probably disappointed with all companies. But yeah, here we are.
And it's one of those things of being like, there were a couple of days. One day they had, I think, a little bit more foam, and another day they had a little bit less. For what reason, I don't know. But it's just like, all right.
And Twitch responds to controversial revenue split, says 70-30 is not viable in the long term, also working to improve intrusive ad experience.
So, like my commentary in a minute or less on this is in a couple of stages. Point number 1. What do you mean this isn't sustainable? Because that's not something that everybody was even getting anyway. So let's talk about that, right? Like all the people that this applies to, we were talking about this before anyway. All of the people that this applied to were people who were making 100K or whatever in the first place. Like they're like the top like 0.2% of people who are on this platform. So if it's not viable in the long run, well, I mean, y'all been here for like a longer than a decade at this point. So if it wasn't viable, then when would it have been? Second thing, it is the timing of this is funny, but not funny, haha, funny, weird, because not even within a week of this announcement, and I am going to put here as a caveat, I don't believe that this was necessarily intentional, but the timing and the optics of it are really unfortunate. Within a week of that whole announcement of what they were doing with this split and this major change they have, the most subscribe the person on the platform with the most subscribers just became a Black streamer by the name of Kai Cenat. And it's just like, I feel a way about the fact that this announcement and the fact that y'all are deciding to do all of these things also happens to coincide with the timing of that being a thing. And then on top of the fact that you're also adding all of these other options like highlight your message for 30 seconds for $5 or for a minute for $10 when you're already doing all of this other stuff. Like, what's happening?
They're trying to become YouTube at that point? Because that just sounds like super chat.
I mean, it is, but it's also kind of like this isn't viable in the long term. What's not like, how is paying people like, how is that how is that not viable exactly? That is something I would actually like an explanation for, and I know that I'm not gonna get it.
I'm with Sin on that one. I would like an explanation, but not gonna get it. Because 70/30 though. On to the next one.
I mean, that's it. That's basically it.
iOS 16.03 is now available with notification fixes, improved camera speed on iPhone 14 Pro, and more. So definitely, if you've got an iPhone, update, please and thank you. And NVIDIA promises big DirectX 12 performance gains in the latest drivers. Cyberpunk 2077 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla get the biggest boosts. NVIDIA said its latest GeForce GPU driver will include some significant performance games for games like Cyberpunk 2077, Forza Horizon 5, and many other DirectX 12 titles. Some of the performance improvements are double-digit percentage increases in frame rates across 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. Cyberpunk 2077 will see up to a 20% improvement at 1080p, with Assassin's Creed Valhalla jumping up to 25% at the same resolution. Even Control will see improvements at 4K of up to 6%. Quote, these improvements include shader compilation, optimization, reduced CPU overhead, and resizable bar profiles for Forza Horizon 5 and F122, explains NVIDIA in a blog post today. Many of these optimizations are most beneficial in CPU-bound scenarios, enabling your graphics card to be utilized to a greater degree. So that would explain why when I opened up Cyberpunk 2077 after applying these drivers, it did not seem like there was much of a change because it was taking place mostly in 1080p. There are only two games that takes up improvements at 1440p. I own both of them, or at least one of them on PC. I don't know if I own Legion on PC, but I have not played Far Cry 6 yet, so I don't know.
We're just randomly talking about Twitch shenanigans. Don't mind us.
No.
Also, for
How did you know I was reading chat?
For the games that you play that you have listed on here, how big of a change for performance was that for you if you've played them since?
So I've only played Cyberpunk because they were so the reason why I looked at Cyberpunk is, one, I'm always looking at the performance of Cyberpunk. That's like my crisis at this point, outside of Stardew Valley. Yeah, we all laugh and giggle.
I appreciate that throwback.
Yeah, it will always be. I tried to make that joke when I was in Colorado, but my cell phone reception was terrible. So I'm not sure if y'all remember the screenshots of the specs of the computer I was using. But there was supposed to be a picture after that had a picture of Stardew Valley that was already installed on that PC. And I was trying to ask, should I run a benchmark? But yeah, it did not play, and I hated it. So yeah, I've only tried Cyberpunk 2077. Again, it was at 1440p, and I did not see much. I didn't see anything, but I did not know it was tied to 1080p resolution for that performance gain. However, excuse me. I did recently get Cyberpunk to actually stay above 60 FPS for majority of a playthrough at one point, and Ruin and I celebrated it for a couple of minutes in Discord. But it's still a thing of, was it streaming that caused that hit? Was there any, I think the last time I played it was before the Edge Runners update that they released after the anime came out. So that could have also gave me some performance gains. There have been obviously some driver updates since then as well. Who knows what other factors, but even when I launched it after the driver update, after this one, also, which I do want to point out that this driver did come out for the release of the RTX 4090. So this is actually the 4090. This is the first release of the 4090 driver, but also it has some updates for 30 for all the other RTX cards. After I put the update, played Cyberpunk, there were some other issues being out in open areas that dropped below 60, but it does seem like it's playing better. It's just still a whole bunch of drops below 60 that I'm not particularly happy about, but I mean, it's playable. It's that, again, the PC version was definitely more playable than the console versions at launch, so there's that. Lord, I'm so sorry about that title. I mean, that probably would have been me too, but yeah, I forgot about Cyberpunk. Got the 3080 Ti and was like, oh wait, I could probably use it for that. City was also a solid way to, and see, that's another reason. That's another reason why people probably have Cyberpunk on Stadia, because they had solid hardware that was probably more powerful than anything that they owned, and it was a good way to play Stadia. I mean, good way to play Cyberpunk. So yeah, there's that. Let's see, going on to deals. Next free game, this week's free games in Epic Games Store is Toe Jam and Earl and Rising Hell. It was like Slain Back from Hell as well. I don't know, but yeah, Toe Jam and Earl, free at Epic Games Store right now. GTA Vice City, the Definitive Edition, the Medium, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and more is coming to PlayStation Plus on the 18th. Of course, you know, PlayStation Plus changed their whole model. It's a thing now. I don't even know because I am just so unplugged from it. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey is coming. The Medium, which was initially a Xbox Series X exclusive. Also, how much you want to bet that Ubisoft is putting their Ubisoft Plus titles in these subscription services without giving you access to Ubisoft Plus? Because I feel like every Assassin's Creed game is in Game Pass or PlayStation Plus now. And free play days for Xbox, Ember, which we played on the show. Goat Simulator and Tour de France 22. It's October. Tour de France was several months ago, but I guess if you want to live your best life and play a bike racing game in October, hey, you can do so this weekend. I actually think I might give it a try. Just because. But that does it for this week. It was a long one. Again, I need to figure out where to put this Discord window that way I can see messages that are being sent to me, or I probably need to set up my iPad and just have Discord open out here.
I mean, if you can just slide me your phone number and I'll just feel like text you every now and then if you get a little blip on your phone, but you don't want those. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I mean, I can put my phone on silent and just vibrate my wrist. Yeah, I'll figure something out. But yep, that's it. See what you got going on this week.
Very quickly, relaxed evening tomorrow. Tabletop games on Saturday and Monday. And then we're back for practice on Tuesday. And I will be back here next week with more notes from what I did in my sign language class, and am seeing things at work.
Dope, dope. Kev, what you got going on
Yep.
this week?
Relaxing mostly this weekend, checking out some games that I might have missed. Trying to catch up a bit more in the Fortnite season, so I've been kind of dabbling on the low. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Let's see. For me, there's some steaming, there's some couching, maybe some gaming. I don't know. Just know that I'll be here on Thursday. That's the only thing I can reliably say is on my stream schedule is that there will be another episode of Tech Talk Thursday. If there's a stream elsewhere, sure. If not, yeah. But yeah. That's it with me. Thank you all, everybody, for tuning in. Looks like A Bok Choi. I remember Bok Choi. Wasn't she a part of that organization that, we don't talk about no more because of reasons?
Yep, but also they're just a delight in general.
I mean, yes, yeah. I'm trying to, because I remember the name. I was trying to make sure I remember the name from where.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Bok Choi. That does it for us this week. Small little announcement. I have appointed Kev as our gaming czar this point forward because we can never decide what games we want to play for Tech Talk Thursday plays. So, Kev, I am letting you know we have 2 weeks to decide. Yep. Let us know. Divine us a video game for us to download so we can have it prepared.
Kevin, yeah. I will say, Kevin, you do not have to make those decisions on your own if you don't want to. And I'm going to also put
check the chat. Check the chat. He volunteered.
Oh, okay.
He volunteered for that.
It's not so much volunteering. It was more like say, "Hey, I'm taking point on this.
Yeah,
I'm doing it
because I don't want honestly, it to be we take forever." And it's ultimately like on a Wednesday. He's like, "Look, this is it."
Right.
Okay.
So I will essentially throw up some game titles and stuff that are either on Game Pass, either that we may have or
Sid,
we may
do you still have Game Pass?
Before.
I might. I should.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and check in on that. Make sure. Double check.
See, I'm looking out.
Mm-hmm. So that way we can so that way we'll know. And we'll just like play some. We'll just like being that it is Halloween, that maybe we might be able to do something maybe on the Back for Blood side, or I might even suffer with some DVD. Who knows? But we shall see. I'd
rather attack the enemy than be attacked. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm like I can easily do like
I'm going to be pro DVD here, but of course I would be.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like either like Back for Blood or depending on what else. I'm gonna be reaching out with y'all about some game choices. Maybe a Borderlands, because Borderlands also has co-op. And that'd be like a nice little like something that we could do. So I think we all have the Epic copy.
I
probably.
I do not, I believe.
Okay.
I have Borderlands.
Double check and see. But if not, then we'll pick something else. But I think I'm like maybe we'll check to see if we have like we'll like I say I'll get back with y'all about some choices, some stuff. But definitely maybe like either Back for Blood or maybe like World War Z or something like that. If we have that on Epic, we'll see. But yeah, that's it for me. So yep.
Thank you, Gaming Czar. Some double points because it's Halloween. You could do Killing Floor and Major could host the server since they have support for custom servers. Why are you putting work on me, dog? Nah, I would happily do that. I have instructions somewhere about a custom Lost Ark server somewhere too. So Yeah, you know I love doing stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, that's it. We could talk about this all day, but we gotta go. We got things to do. Thank you all so much for tuning into another episode of Tech Talk Thursday. Of course, you're watching the stream. You like to catch up on previous episodes. Majors.house/TTT for the audio version. Majors.house/TTT vid for the video version, I believe. I think the bot's broken again. Yeah, the bot's broken again. I should go check in on that. Because I noticed there has been no chatter from the bot today. But yeah, that's where you can go find the archives of the videos. Of course, if you're watching or listening to the archives, twitch.tv/Major Linux is where you can catch up with us live Thursdays at 8:00 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you again, everybody. You all could have been watching any stream in the world. You could have been anywhere in the world, could have been watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech and gaming, not yourself, but you said no. We don't want to fuck around, so we have to find out. We'd rather find out from you. And for that, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Don't fuck around in these streets. Don't do it. And with all that being said, all I've got left to say to you wonderful people is I love you. And let me get to OBS so I can say peace out.
Good night.
Wakanda forever.